Bite dust. Bite dust.
Can't survive this pressure. Surely Maokai will only find again Jonicus. Hyunjin ults in! He thinks he's on the blue side! White Lotus is like, what are you doing here, buddy? Wrong team! Everyone's gonna do enough damage once he gets on to the Jonicus. But Magic Cloud, I mean, they're just leaving Magic Cloud alone and killing Jonicus. Now Magic Cloud is the target. Could not kill the Daz in the isolation chamber, and now it's the Baron. Really, oh, but Daz is actually kind of in trouble here. Ultimate is not gonna stun enough people to save him, right? Akshan comes in, he may be under level, but he will still kill you for 2 health. But not if the Ryan comes to save him. Grace is gonna eat out, and Ito is in the middle of nowhere. He has GA, so it's not over yet. But the Renato ult goes wide, but Therathorn goes down as well, so it's gonna be basically a 4v4. But the key ultimates are down. I believe Nico still has one.
That didn't take out Seraphine. Carl got Seraphine.
I mean, I must retract my earlier statement. The Daz did not take out Seraphine. It was actually Proud.
It was
Thank
Proud.
you for understanding. I am working, I am listening and learning.
No, you're fine.
What is gonna happen? He's gonna have to go down. And again, he flashes out ult, but the Seraphine ult hits everybody, but there's no follow-up. Daz is here. Daz is here to kill the entire backline. He's decided not to yet. Nope, down on healing. Okay, Kino Guard, also gone! Non-super will also go down, and this is a message to enemy. All right, welcome to LXC. Welcome to LXC for Sentinel. This is week 5. We're going to be watching Needlessly Large Rods versus White Lotus. I'm going to be casting play-by-play as Scarlet, and I'm here with Freak.
Yo. So it's been a hot second since I've been around here. I'm hearing some spicy things are going on in the Sentinel League. At this point, I'm noticing as I bring up the standings, the games are pretty close, more or less. So tonight we are doing White Lotus versus Needlessly Large Rods, who claim they're going to play to their best tonight. I definitely am holding them to that claim. But there are a couple implications here in the standings. With White Lotus being 8-4, there is a chance they could lose their spot if they drop at least one game. I think it's actually 2 games. 2 games, actually. So if they drop 2 games and RAR wins 2 or 3, there could be a tie for first place, potentially. There is that. And then Baron Besties, depending on how they do, can end up tying RAR, and then, or even being ahead of RAR. So there's a lot of things that could happen. Or even Needlessly Large Rods, if they 3-0 this, can also shoot up to second place. So there could be a plethora of things that go on in this league at the moment. So it is going to be a fun night. I'm excited for these 2 teams. I rambled on. Scarlett, what you thinking for tonight?
I'm thinking that maybe Needlessly Large Rods can do something no team has done before, which is ban Daz's Yon all 3 games. It's
So I've
possible.
heard.
We haven't seen it yet, but I believe there are rumors. We are in the draft already. Let's see if it happens
Okay.
game 1.
So we are currently still on 14-3, even though I, for whatever reason, thought tomorrow was patch day. It is not. So there are definitely a lot of things we can ban coming into this series. Like we mentioned, ban the Yona way, which we haven't done at this moment. We're kind of focusing on ADCs on the side of White Lotus. Can't imagine why that is. And NLR might do it, or they're gonna troll, aiming towards trolling.
No, they're trying hard. They said they're trying hard, and they
Okay,
will
there we
ban
go.
the Yon.
The White Lotus probably will ban either mid laner or another AD carry here. I don't think they would ban another jungler because, you know, they're kind of focusing on NLR's AD carry pretty hard at the moment. So pinching another AD carry off that pool. Also, I think the Varus would be a really good option here if they decide to go for that style. If NLR ends up getting that, okay, the Jax ban makes a lot of sense as well. As mentioned, there's so much stuff you could first pick a really good comfort pick, especially if they're trying for realsies, or meta slave and just pick Varus right now. I'm just saying Varus is broken. If you're building Varus, do on hit, not poke. So
You could
for
be
all
fun
you
meta slave and do
yeah.
smolder.
No, don't do
meta
that.
slave. No.
I don't recommend that because you have to. There is kind of a weird like. See, NLR is listening. See, how about that? They know what they're talking about. They know what I'm talking about. Varus is broke right now. Now, WL do have plenty of options of what they could do here. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say Maokai has been a mainstay of like all 3 leagues for the past 5 weeks, and it would be really standard to see him here. I like him into the Varus because of the, I mean, not necessarily the support matchup necessarily, but just like in terms of team fights. I like Maokai versus Varus a little bit.
Okay. So they definitely go in, lock in. So really high priority pick last year when the champion was a menace at this around the end of the year as well. Just super strong jungler still is. Sejuani being the answer, the jungler pick, definitely for sure. No, that's a lie because both of these picks are flex picks, so it could be either top lane Maokai, the most unlikely choice, jungle or support, and then top or jungle Sejuani. I have seen mid Sejuani, so that is
I've seen support Sejuani.
Yep.
So
see,
neither of us have seen 80 carry Sejuani, but today could be the day.
well,
It's
actually, I
probably
have.
jungle Sejuani. Oh, you have?
It could be either that or top lane. It just kind of depends. NLR not picking anything in these last picks right now. Ran out of time. They will probably tell us in chat here in a second. All right, they go ahead and lock in the Zac.
Our
Apparently
captain is trolling, is the words.
Trundle. So they hit Trundle, which is actually a really solid pick.
Yeah, but is it solid with Zac? Interesting. I mean, I like it with Zac, I guess, but you are showing your jungle and top laner, despite those usually being somewhat flex.
Yes,
Um,
but with Trundle being more or less a counter pick and an obnoxious split push menace that I've seen in other amateur leagues that I have done, it's actually really strong right now. Especially with your pillar of ice around you, and you're just kind of smacking the crap out of everything. So you have to have someone that's able to answer you. So that kind of puts White Lotus in a weird spot if they decide to pick someone that is a split pusher that matches in to a Trundle, because it will be kind of obnoxious dealing with them. Now the Jinx was locked in after the fact as well. Strong hyper carry required to scale, will shoot faster than Varus at some point in the game. But kind of depends on who procs your lethal tempo fastest. But as we're going to continue on in the draft, we're going to ban away supports now. On more flexes, technically. So Zyra will be taken off of the table. Looks like Hui is also going to be taken off. I've seen that champion do disgusting damage, so I'm actually okay with this ban. It's like, since everyone figured out how to play this champion, I've just seen just nothing but one-shot compilations from Hui. So taking him off the table is honestly a very wise decision. Now, WL, again, you can ban more supports here. I would ban another Enchanter if you know what's good with Varus, or Talia, actually. That's actually really solid if they go for that. Talia loves these champions with good dive, and the Unraveled Earth pretty much puts a stop to that. They will just ban it away. So very intelligent banning coming out from White
who do you
Lotus.
think they're gonna save the counter pick for White Lotus?
They should save it for mid lane at this point, I would say.
Right.
Kind of at this point, they don't really have any magic damage. I mean, you could argue Sejuani because she has a lot of it for no
No,
reason
I do not
whatsoever.
argue that.
Silas, another champion being taken off the table. That's usually a good target pick because there are a lot of good ultimates for Silas to take off of the table. But now I do think White Lotus should save their pick for their mid laner and just kind of wait and see what the rest of NLR's comp is going to be. They have a lot of dive comp. It's actually both teams have a lot of dive now that I'm thinking about it, because it will
And
be that
two
Trundle.
stationary 80 carries too, which is
Mm-hmm.
kind of interesting.
So
Do you
I
pick the
think
support that has peel for it, or do you take a top laner that just continues the dive in?
Oriana,
Okay,
okay,
no.
control mage, really, really good control mage. So that's also a lot of damage and a lot of damage that they've needed. So they're gonna save the counter pick for support. So it does give NLR the option to kind of pick whatever into it at this point in time. I'm more or less expecting a really good engage support with the Varus. It's kind of a lot of combos that can go with it. I've seen Varus Nautilus be gross. I've seen Varus Braum also be gross. So that's an option, a couple of options they can go for. Tarek I like as well. I will say that's done really good. You can set up really good for the Chains of Corruption to go with it. And if you get against this dive in particular of the Maokai and the Sejuani, you have the Tarek ultimate, which I'll get the name of in just a moment when I when we get in game. So
You know when to press it though, because Maokai always tells you he's coming.
sure.
So
Um,
Corki is a really nice pick though, I think. Just like having the fact that the jungler matchup the way it is and just scaling into Oriana, I think it's really good personally.
I'm gonna disagree because that gives them
Mhm.
kind of a significant lack of AP damage, and
That's
I
true.
do believe Malignants might still work the same way. I'm not entirely sure. I know they took it off. Actually, I don't think it works on Corki alt anymore. So I'm kind of surprised, and Casante's broke. That's all I will say. Um,
Yeah.
so I'm not really a fan of the mid lane pick here. I think there were definitely a number of better options that could have been picked, but I also could have missed that maybe one of their players is not comfortable on more AP heavy champions, which is okay, of course. But I
I mean,
think
it's
it'll be
also true
fit.
that the fact that their damage is Jinx and Oriana,
Yeah.
I don't think you're too worried about stacking physical damage. You know, those champions are, I mean, Oriana can obviously get Zanya's, but
Well.
otherwise, I don't think the damage profile isn't that under threat, in my opinion, just
Nope.
because you're talking about the Tariq ult in the extended fight with the Zac and Corki. I feel like even if Maokai, Sejuani, and Cassante stack armor, it's not gonna matter if Jinx and Oriana get caught. Um,
No. Um.
I don't know.
The only thing I'm not really a fan of in this instance is the Cassante, and by that I mean overall in the current state of the game, because that champion is broke, does way too much damage for no reason,
Yes, that's
and then
true.
not having that much hard CC to be able to stop him from doing all that nonsense he do, that I think is going to punish NLR in some of these later game team fights. So that's kind of where I'm at. Was like we kind of don't have a hard CC mid laner to be able to stop this dude from just running at their backline and just annihilating them. But I'm assuming Trundle can keep him locked in the cage that is top lane. That will have to be what we wait on for that.
Yeah, it is Trundle top lane, Zach jungle. I know 99% of you thought that, but just to make sure and clarify.
Okay,
And it is
support,
Sejuani jungle and Maokai support.
Yep, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, that might change how I feel about this bot lane matchup then, which it changed when Cassante was locked in immediately anyway.
Yeah.
So kind of thinking this will be a really spicy bot lane in this instance, because both these AD carries are going to want to get very ahead, not just a little ahead, very ahead by the end of laning phase. With the help of the Void Grubs, these junglers should prioritize them. Get both in either direction. I'm not picking a specific team at all. Either direction, getting your AD carries obnoxiously fed off of that tower gold is going to be very, very good. And I think from there, we can
Kind of
chillax
interesting
for a
because
moment.
I feel like Zach has so many options to play this game. None of the lanes are really bad to gank. Maybe Cassante. I haven't played Zach jungle into Cassante that much, so maybe he's not the best gank. But ganking an Orianna with a quirky is okay, and then ganking bot lane would be really good. So I feel like NLR have a lot of options to play this, and White Lotus have options as well. But it still feels like they might have to be a little bit more reactive on their junglers pathing and stuff.
Yeah, most likely. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm excited to get into games. So what I think we can go ahead and do is cut it to a break. So while these teams load in, we'll be right back on the Rift for game 1. Don't go anywhere.
Bite dust. Bite dust. Bite dust. If you must. Dust. If you must. Bite dust. If you must. Dust. If you must. 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 If you must.
Live a little, that is what they said when you turn around and left for good. But the taste is bitter, lonely in my bed, keep thinking about what we once had. It's true, but it's hard to get over such a beautiful lie. When I still want you closer, I am longing for closure, and I'm wondering why. No matter what I do, I keep on falling for you. I keep on falling for you. I keep on. I keep on. I keep on.
All right, welcome to Needlessly Large Rods versus White Lotus. Some interesting choices here, especially the red jungle item on Zac. Is this an early game choice? I'm not really sure what it really reflects for using Q for you to go the red item.
I think there is a very high possibility Homeboy's going AP. But
I don't know. He's got aftershock, right? It's not completely absurd.
I mean, we'll see what happens. I'm not entirely sure what's going on, but we had a classic 5-point stance coming in. Neither jungler decided to trade for vision in this instance. We're just getting some emoting, animation canceling, stuff like that. Classic League of Legends things that happen in this game. What is Thornication doing?
He's showing that he's the best player in the entire game, and he's gonna
All right,
carry.
pay to see that. In this instance, both junglers are going to start on opposite sides of the map. Sejuani doesn't typically need a leash. Zac does, I believe. There is quite a chance that maybe even he didn't even need to be here for this. He could have probably started Wolves first, but in this mid lane, I'm expecting this matchup to go one of two ways. By that, I mean mostly Orianna getting super really far ahead and taking over the game later. Or this could be in the case of Corki, where he was absolutely one-shotting people with Malignants and then Eclipse and whatever the rest of that build was a couple of patches ago, or last patch actually, as a matter of fact. We just have to wait and see what happens there. We got some classic stuff happening here. We got level 2s first in this lane. Maokai could go in and will.
The sun misses. This Fornication is not going to be a good time. Flashes out, still gets ignited. Just a flash, but definitely a lane deficit, despite all the animation canceling we saw.
Yeah, there was a couple of auto attack animation cancels that I saw.
Oh, I meant the sliding across the map, because that I think was much more important to the fight.
Yeah, but I think that the auto attack canceling that Jinx did cost Disgrace the kill. Using Q for you is here. We'll be going in.
Not gonna hit the jump, but the Q lands. Oh, John is just a little bit too far away. Comes back in actually, and using Q for you is in a little bit of trouble. Looks like they're just gonna walk away. Not even gonna get the Zac passive. Okay, going to 1. It still backs off the bot lane of White Lotus, so it's not the worst gank, but you're still pretty sad.
I also just noticed the runes on Jinx went for the fleet footwork instead of the lethal tempo. I think that's the problem now that I'm seeing. Jinx is 1,000,000% times better with lethal tempo as her rune in this instance, or keystone to be exact, because of her passive in particular. So the faster you're shooting, the more DPS you're doing. So there is a chance, actually, hold that thought.
Oh, get the stun and the knockup soon. This might be. No, he just goes for the wave. So it's just another top lane fake out. It looks like it might have gone somewhere if he went with the knockup. I think there could have been a flash for Ghost trade.
I think
but they leave it at that.
Oh,
so Brownie here comes with the flash. Thornication has no flash. So this should be a dead support. W comes in, flash from It's John. And now the Jinx is excited, but she decides to go for the wave because there's too much damage coming out, I guess. So they don't quite get the stun. Meanwhile, top lane doing top lane things. And that's just Prowl taking advantage of the summoner that Disgrace and John had gotten earlier off of Thornication.
Yeah, Varus could have died there if Jinx didn't auto the wave twice. Could have kept following in that instance and most likely secured the second kill. But they do end up getting first blood. That gives them a 1,000 gold lead. Like you mentioned, punishing that flash that was used from earlier. Quirky here. They got a little bit of damage. We should have level 6 sticking over here in the next minute or so. Sejuani with now that little bit, actually quite a bit of an advantage, I will say. 12 CS up. Actually, how much gold? 500 gold, so not bad in this instance. She will reset. Most likely go for the Void Grubs here. This will be a Cloud, unless that's wrong. Okay, it is Cloud, because sometimes it'll be, say, Cloud and be Chemtech, and it just looks weird.
The stun lands here. I don't think it's really going to mean anything. But a nice little poke out there that helps them get a little bit of control of the wave that they had lost. So they're going to go for a crash here. Neither jungler is going to be in the area too.
Well, no, because they're fighting
So-
topside right now at this very moment as Sejuani did start this, and they're going to fight this out. Trundle has Prio here, too. It's going to get ugly.
Yeah, Prowl's in a lot of trouble, but gets the stun off. Using Q for You still has passive, does not make the jump over. But now they're all stuck in the pit. They might get the grubs, but are they going to like the fight afterwards? I don't think so.
Yep.
Oriana's coming up. They're trying to walk into her, but the ultimate lands on both. There's no follow-up, though. No mana on Daz, and the rest of White Lotus kind of left him alone. Meanwhile, jump in. Flash on Daz is going to be used, right?
Flash,
Yeah. And the Daz got kind of left by his team. I'm not going to lie.
Not exactly. It was actually kind of approaching at the wrong position at that time. Could have actually completely avoided that situation by just not roaming over the second that Sejuani had to queue out of the pit. I think at that point you just concede, and that way, you know, you don't have to burn your flash there. But, you know, it is what it is, of course. You know, shoulda, woulda, coulda. As we might be getting an engagement here in the ball lane.
I don't think One White Vision has enough mana. It's going to be close if they can get this kill, but yeah. Pretty sure John just walks away and then concede wave position. Top lane, doing top lane things. Trundle Failure comes out, is like, I could trade back. Obviously he can't. He's not fooling anyone. But, you know, oh, little Q there. Tries to get back some evenness in the lane. I think Disgrace and John are in a bit of a rough spot, though. They do have their jungler coming, but using Q for You is also here, and it just feels like they're gonna be, I don't know, if One White Asian is able to control the wave correctly, Disgrace and John have to push out. However, Corky's heading down too, so it's gonna be interesting.
Not 8 minutes yet, so it doesn't have package at this moment. So kind of just here to take care of the Scuttler that's in the river on the bot side. We got a couple pings coming in the mid lane. Not entirely sure why.
Okay, both junglers heading down here. It's really interesting because both AD carries only have Doran's Blade, so even though Jinx has a huge lead in gold, it's just sitting in her pocket. Meanwhile, Zach got the crab and is behind Sejuani. They find each other now, I believe. Meanwhile, the trade bot lane is favoring White Lotus a little bit, I guess. Zach comes in, flash out from Jinx, and Zach still has passive, by the way. Stun might come out. Here it comes, but now John has to run away, which means he will not be part of the fight for the rest of it. Using Q for You, tanking a lot because of the passive.
So much
Corky is here, though. Corky's just here. Ooh.
Disgrace is missing so much DPS by not having lethal tempo right now. I 100% believe they actually get a kill or two there because, you know, if they break the passive, you know, Jinx goes crazy. So I'm just it's hurting. It's hurting a little bit. It's just like it should 100%. I highly recommend if they decide to pick this champion in the next game to pick lethal tempo. You'll do so much more damage. Just right now, Jinx should be either 2-0 or 3-0 at this moment, and I stand firmly on that. But they still have a 1.5
awesome. You look how much UB Awesome had to give up mid lane. He had to give up a wave, a plate to Oriana, which is not the worst in this matchup because she's not going to run away with the lead or anything. But that was all just to get One White Asian and Thornication into position to be okay. It wasn't for a kill or anything. And now he's kind of paying the price a little bit. This trade is horrific.
Yep, that's what I was saying. Oriana can definitely abuse advantages like this. I mean, it's just also not surprising. They might actually get a fight here on this Drake. The bot lane's not here, though, unfortunately, so she would be here by herself. Actually, Daz is roaming over. So
yeah, he has no flash.
4v3. Corky's coming back. He should have package as well.
One White Asian spot is a little weird. Gets rooted, stunned, has cleanse, but now the Oriana, you can't cleanse that. Has to flash away, and it's still way too low. Gonna die to Prowl. Meanwhile, Oriana does go down, but she did her job. Thornification barely gonna live, but I'm pretty sure Disgrace is happy to get excited off to Zach once the passive goes down. Corky is here and the healthiest member of the entire fight, but I don't think that Prowl's gonna die. Now Jinx is excited, and they randomly get the Taric off the dragon, and Ubi Awesome has to run away into the enemy jungle, and that's a triple kill for Jinx. She doesn't need lethal tempo if she just gets them set up like that.
No, it still needs lethal tempo. That fight could have been over so much sooner.
Okay, fair enough.
That's probably gonna be my reoccurring complaint this whole game because that fight was like actually 10 seconds longer than it should have been because of that lack of lethal tempo. Now, also interesting that we decided to go for magical footwear, because even then, Jinx with tier 2 boots, absolutely nutty as well. So usually most Jinx players will prioritize that. I know when they go back and watch, that's gonna sound like I'm flaming. I sort of am, but that's not the point.
It's good flaming though.
It's good flaming. It's like you could be doing so much more damage right now. I promise you, you could be doing so much more damage. But I digress. So the Void Grubbies did spawn again, and they have to get all 3 here. Actually, I
I
lied.
think they will though.
Well, I had a different point. Actually, hold that thought.
Using Q just has to run away. No passive. So I don't think that he's coming back for the re-engage. He thinks he is, but Oriana has ultimate. And Ubi Awesome is now committed. And
Oh,
has
hell,
to W up,
support's
but
here.
Maokai will find him, and now Oriana will find him. He doesn't even need to use
Flash.
it. Gets the kill. Thornification might also be in trouble because of the Oriana ult. They decide not to use it for just a support. But that will be, I think, 5 grubs for White Lotus.
Nope, that was
And,
4 because it was
4.
actually NLR that ended up needing the 3 that they just got stolen from them to get that Void Might passive. So they don't get that because they didn't have priority in mid lane. Because I think Corki had just backed. Actually,
Oh, the
here,
ult finds
the
Jinx, but
cleanse.
Jinx is still pretty strong, so I'm not sure they can finish this. However, the stun comes through, and Jinx will get shut down by Tarek. Not ideal. John will probably be able to walk away. Top lane trade looks kind of fierce. I think that
he's dead.
Quisante's dead. Meanwhile, the jungle is also finding Oriana here with ultimate. Goes in, no Zac passive, so that will go down. Quisante lives somehow through all that. Not entirely sure how.
Champion,
But
bro.
Jinx got caught by Varsal and dies for it. And using Q for you gets invaded in his own jungle. And now UB Awesome face checking where he knows they just invaded is going to get stunned, and they will give it over to Oriana, which makes sense. The Daz wants to carry, and he's in a much better position to do it now.
Indeed. So I need to piggyback off like there's 3 different things that happen all at the same time.
Right?
So we're gonna start at the top lane in the jungle. That was just unfortunate timing that using Q for you was just not strong in that instance. Oriana showed up, is strong, will be finishing. Yep, the Ludens. I would say it's probably most likely Ludens that she will end up getting. Jinx is caught because that's what happens when you don't bring cleanse into a Chains of Corruption and or stun lane. Now, most of the time, they would anticipate you to cleanse it early, but this is the punishment for not having that rune into a lane like this. Now the shutdown going over is highly unfortunate, but it does happen. That just means Terra can get stronger for later in this game.
Okay, so yeah, it's just really awkward for needless as our drods how they can really. I mean, both teams scale pretty well, so you're not really expecting the gas pedal to come down too hard, but you're not really excited by the items coming in either.
Oops, using for Qs here. Actually, they're going in early.
Yeah, they can't really go in on a stun on Maokai. It's Disgrace that's the danger. Already a finished item versus just Vamp Scepter.
Well, the problem is they went in too early. Like
oh,
now
Zac comes here and misses everything as Sejuani's here. So they have to be really careful. Old Maokai will surely come in. The cleanse comes through, but the ultimate from Tara comes through, but they're still just sitting here. Yeah, you're invincible, but not for long. And the knock through to make sure Jinx ult finds everybody. Get excited. Get another stun. They can't quite get the 4th one. So it will just be 1 kill. Unless using Q for you has something to say about it. He says, wait, no, you deserve this. And
you can get the 2nd one.
It's very close, but Disgrace only gets gifted 1 extra kill, which will be 2 for him, on top of the 2 that he already had. And I think Disgrace is just going to run away with this game.
Well, yeah, that is a possibility at this point, being 4-1 on this. Okay, never mind.
Oh, UB Awesome gets dove under tower with the ultimate. Sorry, I looked away for a second. And it just instantly goes in. Notorious actually kind of winning this trade, and he really needs to. Nice flash over, but now Quisante things. So, nice try, I guess.
I think the last trundle I watched finished the Triforce first before pivoting to the next item. I mean, even though, you're against the Quisante, he's automatically into the building Bramble Vest, so you're not going to get much value out of it anyways. So it's just better to wait to get the... I've seen Ravenous Hydra sometimes be 2nd. I've seen other stuff, but I'll hold that thought.
Oh, Thornification's in trouble. No Maokai ult, but no Taric ult. And there's no safety in this tribe. Maybe there is. They don't know where One Night Asian is. Decided to just go for using Q for you. I believe the passage should be up. Flashes out. and has to use it, but you use
Here
it to
says
live, so
Juani,
that's
but
not
we
the
have
worst.
package.
Oh, meanwhile, top lane immediately getting the first tower as the bounty, which you rarely see.
I've never seen that.
Package? I'm not sure if their package is going to be utilized well, right? They can just back off, but
Well,
there's no way. I just don't think
It's-
they can start the dragon, can they?
I wouldn't because you have the item disadvantage, but they're backing off. You have to do it right now at this very moment, or wait for your stuff to come up to kind of push the Sejuani out of the river. And Corki package is only really a deterrent, anyways, because it's such a strong ability. Now, not
It's gone
having it,
now.
they can just get back into the pit, take this Drake for themselves, and start the dragon stack. So they're gonna be feeling pretty good about this. Trundle did get first tower, which was hilariously awkward, especially as a first tower bonus. So that's extra gold that went to them. So I've never exactly seen that before. Rift Herald is up. Do not think that Notorious will be able to stop this if they try to come for it, because White Lotus is.
Well, they want to. Yeah.
Under.
Yeah, there's no way they finish this. They might get the crab if they're lucky. Really, the objective they want to get is Disgrace, which honestly is not the worst objective to get, but I'm not sure they can 2v1 him even with just the tower there.
Indeed.
Crab's gonna reset.
Well, I mean, that's just something that typically happens. The patience does reset, but it doesn't entirely matter. As Notorious and using Q for You and Oob Awesome have left the pit anyways, or as I say, that they seem to be posturing up in that direction. So this could end up coming. I think if support comes, yeah, I was about to say if Thornication comes now, they could do something, but actually it looks like he decides to pivot back to mid lane. So the Rift Herald will go over, and that just means more gold into the pockets of White Lotus.
Yeah, you got one objective bounty so far for needlessly large rods, but they are feeling the pain of being behind for sure. Zach coming in. I don't know if they have the damage to really follow this up though. Quirky Ultimate's gonna lay in something maybe. Doesn't hit the first one. Meanwhile, One White Asian Disgrace fighting 1v1. One White Asian has to flash. Daz is actually following the pain of Trundle coming in, but Sejuani ult plus Ari ult means that he has to slow down. Gets ignited, but it's too late. The damage is not there, so Notorious will live. And they get a lot of sums and ultimates just for Notorious being in the right position at the right time.
Yep. So good on you, Notorious, for being where you need to be. Is unfortunately low from that fight. I'm not entirely sure. That fight was way too close, and there were a lot of things that kind of went on. Varus was forced to flash in the bot lane. I noticed the icon jumped over while that last fight was happening. Was forced to flash. Jinx used the ultimate. It was close. It just ended up going in that way, but we have Varus and Tarek back down here in the bot lane. At this point, I don't think you need to be in lane anymore. You should be shifting your resources towards other lanes since top lane is now open. So keep K'Sante where he is, swap your mid and bot lanes, and then have them pressure that mid lane tower, especially since White Lotus are on a 2 Drake advantage. They need all the pressure they can get in the mid lane, and that's how they should be proceeding the rest of the map.
One White Asian baiting really hard for no jungler. You get the stun onto Disgrace, but I don't think there's any follow-up. One White Asian gets rooted up. Tarklet's going to be really slow, and that's too late. Now Thornification just has to run away invincible. Gets one stun, but gets slowed, oh my goodness, the traps are just perfectly placed. Disgrace does not have the ultimate, so Thornication will live. But now Ubi Awesome does not get the same grace.
Wow, that was a one shot. All right, that was really cool. And I looked over because I have stream on the other monitor, and same thing. Bot lane tower will fall in the process, but I think Thornification dies.
Disgrace going in with the get excited and Ghost gets the W up, has to force the flash of Thornification.
Okay.
Wow.
Rift Herald is summoned on the other side of the map. That will be the mid lane tower falling. Exactly good. Push down the whole mid lane. Make that lane longer for NLR. So that way it forces them to have to play around in their base. And this is how you want to proceed. Get this tower. Get out. Now they don't need to do anything else right now for the next minute 27 seconds. They do see Notorious on that ward. Will be backing off. So now you have Drake advantage. All you have to do is just take mid lane control and just prep for this next Drake. Get your items. Whatnot. We should be hitting like 2 item points here over the course of the next minute or so. Jinx has her 2 items. Oriana just purchased her 2nd item. We have almost 2 items in K'Sante. I don't think he'll be coming up actually, and I have and a half on Sejuani. So with them being 7,000, actually it's more like 6,500 gold up in this game. They are feeling pretty good. They are really strong. Baron is now on the map. Which Baron is that? I think that's
Oh,
Predator
do people
Baron. I
knows what
think
the Barons are?
there's
I
three different
haven't
ones.
been
There's
paying
All-Seeing
attention.
Baron, Hunter Baron, and one other one.
Fornication actually
Hold
kind
on.
of walking forward too much. I don't think they have to commit any ultimates.
They're just-
Fornication just caught out, stunned up, slowed. They will walk away because Notorious is here and they commit the Maokai ult while walking away. So it's a little awkward. Notorious
Oh, that's a good
baits them
execute,
in.
yep.
Disgrace has to flash, and I think Disgrace really needs to play the rest of the fight well.
Oh.
However, Oriana ult does not have to care about anything. It's all of it. And Disgrace gets excited. They get the Zac passive, and they bait him in with the 500 gold shutdown at Disgrace and slam him through with the Oriana ultimate.
I think you can leave one person here to do Drake Kasati in this resistance, and I kind of think they're strong enough to do Baron if they had wanted to, but maybe they believe with death timers not being long enough, they decide not to. So it really could have gone either way in this instance. You know, send somewhere, leave someone on Drake, go for Baron after that. Actually, they are walking up in that way. It would be too late now at this point, but they don't have vision on this side of the map. It is completely dark in the Baron area, so they will just spread along the map, you know, reset, spend some of their gold, and they're going to be feeling pretty good about where they're positioned in this game. You know, 8,500 gold up at 21 minutes. So it's looking pretty pretty good.
I don't see Corki getting a third entire item before Soul spawns, and that's like their one power spike that can maybe save them. Because I don't think for a second item is going to matter that much. Trundle is trying his best, but he's not going to be able to hold the onslaught that is Oriana and Jinx together. And the CC is already too much for him anyways. I think that Needlessly Large Rods kind of have to play for some weird Elder Dragon play or something.
Well, this was
and
also
just hope
the
they can scale.
Yeah, this was also the punishment that I noted in draft of not picking a hard CC mid laner or like even, you know, an arguably on a hard CC support. They're gonna fight here. 2 levels down and TP.
No, they use the TP because if they get this, they get Baron. Now he will definitely go down, and they're gonna start Baron.
there they
Corki's
go.
on the wrong side of the map, has teleport, but you're teleporting your Corki in for a 4v5? I don't think so. So White Lotus will probably
Well,
pick this up pretty free.
They definitely will. As I say, I've seen some crazy things in my time. I've seen wild steals happen in 1v5s and it doesn't make any sense. Don't think Zac will be able to get close to the pit.
Oh, he's
Never
coming
mind.
in. Does not get it. He doesn't have passive, so it's definitely a suicide mission. Remember me, please, Needlessly Large Rods. But using Q for you is gone. It was a good attempt, though.
You crazy some man. The rest of your team was not really around there to go for that, so
It was just a suicide mission. Just
I
like, I get the Baron, I die, it'll be worth it. But he did not
they're
get that
down
first part down.
11,000 gold. Yeah, so they're down 11,000 gold at this very moment. Zac will be up in 5 seconds. There's really no reason for them to kind of force anything at this very moment. They can just 1-3-1 this. The only issue is the waves are not
is
synced
he
up.
also gonna get 1v1'd again? I don't think so, but it looks really sad if he gets ulted here.
But this is a good attempt at 1-3-1. The only issue is none of the waves were synced up to make sure that they could all kind of be in the same area. Hold on.
Oh, using Q for you going in. The Varus ult also hits, but it's just 2 tanks. So they just walk away with a Maokai ult.
Yeah. All right. I like the idea. I like the idea there, so they will have to wait. So we do have the bot lane finally coming in. They should just push the this mid wave in, rotate down to the bot lane, take this tier 2. Sejuani's kind of being
This
cheeky
top
in the
fight is
jungle.
hilarious. It actually might go somewhere because I think that Zerathorn has confidence to go for it all out and will get the kill. Will get the kill. And that's just Notorious
They can
trying to
murk
bring
this
back the Glory
dude.
Days to level 1. Meanwhile, Ubi Awesome is gonna get stunned, and I think they'll just leave him. You know, send a message to your people. Probably kind of tentacled up.
UB Awesome was 100-0 there if Oriana was there, but she was not. In the meanwhile, the top tier 2 will fall. Jinx will bring in this mid lane. They have about a minute left on this Baron, I believe. I think it might be a minute and a half, actually. But looks like they're going to reset, spend some gold, and kind of just run back on the map. Both solo laners are fed. 80 carry fed. Jungler also fed. And your support is 1012. You're feeling pretty good at your position in this game. So, yep, we are just going to go ahead and spend some gold. So we're going Phantom Dancer 3rd. Interesting. In this instance, I feel like you're gonna be smacking more people in your face, so I think Runans would be the better option. I think I'd go Phantom Dancer with Runans, both to be completely honest with you, and then maybe LDR after that to kind of wait. Hold on, pause. No, yeah, because I'd sell boots and then okay, yep. I was like, what am I mathing here, or am I correct?
You
No,
want
there's
my
3
hot
items left.
take?
Nope, I'm right.
I don't think items matter at 12k up plus soul soon.
I
You
mean,
could build
not this
whatever
early.
you want. But the
Well,
other thing is, what do you think that NLR takes from this for draft? Because that's what they got to be thinking about, right? Like,
draft more
not to
AP.
sugarcoat it. Yeah.
Draft
Yeah.
more AP. And they're gonna get engaged on right now, actually.
Using Q for you just jumps out, so I think it's
Hi,
fine. Except
Casante's
Zerathorn's
there.
there. Stunned, and there's no follow-up damage, so he just gets delayed a little bit. Stopped at the
Quirky
gate.
package.
Ubi Awesome
Okay.
has the package, and he is feeling awesome about it. But once he loses it, I don't think he'll be feeling so Ubi Awesome anymore.
This is gonna be interesting. They got a lot of vision to clear, a lot of darkness. Oriana does have TP if they decide to fight this.
Oriana TP late is kind of scary because Jinx could randomly fall and then you're kind of in trouble, but like scary in terms of like it could technically go all wrong. Here comes Jinx getting stunned up. It's really far away though. Maokai ult makes it
Good
really
chains,
difficult.
there's the
Tarkle to
package,
Dave
good
in.
flash.
Oriana's not reacting, so Zerathorn will go down. Meanwhile, everyone is up, but now
Okay.
Corki falls and Jinx is excited and under a tower. Under half health, however, because of one white agent, but now one white agent's front line has to flash out. Meanwhile, Oriana just going top lane,
Oriana's
getting
in
all
the
that
base.
stuff. Disgrace is gonna get excited again if Fornication dies. Does not. Notorious can't really get
Lose an
melee range
inhibitor.
though. Yeah, they're gonna trade this
They're
for
gonna trade the
inhibitor.
Drake for an inhibitor.
I don't think they're trading the Drake for an inhibitor. They're trading a few more seconds before White Lotus get the Drake for an inhibitor because now Disgrace is excited. Now the Zac is in his passive, and well, Disgrace just has to decide to kill
Hitting
the dragon or the Zac first. Oh no, this is really sad. Triple kill for Jinx, and maybe Fornication could maybe for a second believe that he had a chance to kill Oriana. Obviously not. Daz is kind of low,
TPing.
but that is soul. That is another solo laner coming in whenever they could barely deal with one. Plus the jungle and AD carry coming in through mid lane. I believe that White Lotus has decided the game has got to end, and end it will, with White Lotus getting a lead in this series. Oh wait, Varus landing on Jinx perfectly, but it doesn't matter because it's AD carry versus AD carry while everyone watches. And Disgrace easily wins that one.
Just hit the
Yeah,
Nexus.
Deciding not to, wants to get kills. Using Q4 comes in, no passive, so whoever he dies to will be immediately.
Nice.
That's a double or second kill for Disgrace. And Disgrace did not let the lack of lethal tempo stop him from getting 14 kills.
Could have had like 6 more if had lethal tempo.
Okay, if we're really gonna flame the 14 kill guy, I agree. It could have been better.
I play so
that
much
was
Jinx. It's just lethal tempo is her best one.
That was pretty monstrous.
32,000 Damagi. Impressive. Not too much to say. They just got leads early. They utilized those leads. Then they just pushed advantages. They got Drake advantages. They even took advantage of the Void Grubs after a fight. So yeah, it's just
I don't even think the White Lotus drafted particularly strong lanes. Like they didn't draft weak lanes per se, but they
It's not
didn't draft a
overpowered.
crash lane. They just
I mean-
crushed lane regardless.
Casante's broke, so I mean,
I know, but that was the one lane they lost. So like that even further shows like the difference wasn't that the team that drafted early game got early and took the lead and won. Both teams drafted for mid to late game, but White Lotus didn't even let it get to there.
nope. But have to make some adjustments naturally in game 2, so that's what I am expecting out of NLR. So gonna make a case and pretty much say that got a couple things to adjust in draft, and that's okay. But like I said, more AP, hard CC. That's how you stop champions like Casante and like tanks from overrunning. And then draft a hyper carry, AD carry, boom, easy peasy lemon squeezy. Now, we'll go ahead and go over all that more. We are gonna switch sides. Actually, no, we're not.
No.
NLR is gonna be on blue side once again. So guess we can go ahead and take a quick break for some more agua, and then we'll be right back for game 2 draft, so don't go anywhere.
A Norfolk night, the world is cold. We stand surrounded, we are not alone. Within my referee, there's holy light. Without a number, we stand and fight.
All right, we're back. Draft is going to start pretty soon, and I'm hoping to see a bit of a different strategy from NLR because whenever you're that far behind in lanes like that, you got to draft a little bit differently than whenever you're equally matched in lanes. You know?
Actually, I think that comp was fine. It's
No, I
just
mean the comps
one
were fine, except that I mean the comps are fine if you're drafting for 10 strangers, but you're not. You're drafting for teams that just lost Varus, Tarek against Jinx, Maokai, and were obliterated by it, basically, in my opinion. So like actually that's not entirely true. Jinx did carry, but obviously it wasn't from start to finish. There was some back and forth. They got Thornication's Flash pretty early for free in just the TV2.
Hmm.
So I do think that like drafting some more lane dominance could maybe give NLR some chances. Because if they draft anything else, I just feel like White Lotus is gonna run away with it.
okay. No, in that instance, you are correct. Just one thing I'm hoping that they do is specifically in the mid lane. Top
Mhm.
lane, there are a couple of different picks you could pick for against the Cassante. In a sense, Gwen's a good example. It's kind of a skill matchup if you pick Jax into it. It's also a little bit of a bait because I know a lot of people who might watch the LPL have seen it, but it's still a really hard matchup. But we can go ahead and get into draft right now at this very moment. We're gonna stick with the Udyr ban, which is pretty solid. I think we're gonna probably get the same bans, hopefully an adjustment at NLR. I'd say just oh, okay. So already beating Yon second. Interesting, interesting. And then a Felio. So I think White Lotus will keep the same bands. Wondering if there will be an adjustment from NLR as mentioned before.
I don't think so in the bans. I think in the draft itself. Oh, the
Gonna
Maokai
ban
ban is an
Maokai instead.
adjustment
Okay.
though.
Yep, makes sense. So as you mentioned, a highly contested pick. These players are always playing it. You see it almost every game. So taking it off the table with how strong this champion is, just makes sense. Also, that's why you bring cleanse into a Maokai lane. Looks like NLR will pick Varus once again. White Lotus will
Oh.
go for the Zaya. I would imagine Rakan probably follows next. Imagine that, because those champions are never apart and they are still a strong duo in the game. Now,
Kind of interesting.
Nautilus, go ahead.
It's just interesting that NLR did not update their picks at all, but White Lotus, despite no different bans in the bot lane, did oh wait no, it was Maokai support, right? I was thinking it was jungle for some reason. So yeah, they updated their bot lane just because of the ban. And NLR gets a second try with Varus. And I think that they did okay on Varus. Like there were some good
Ah,
ultimates. But with Morgana, the lane is completely different than with
I
Terra.
don't like that pick. A really good counter into Rakan is Nautilus, so that was a free game to play Nautilus into it. They will take the Sejuani for themselves. Sejuani is a very good engaged champion, and Rakan Sejuani is pretty obnoxious to deal with. So taking that being a potential takeaway is really good drafting. Now, I really wish they picked Nautilus instead of the Morgana. It's just Nautilus can kind of counterpick Rakan, and he counterpicks a lot of hard engaged, but Poppy being picked over, which will counter the Sejuani and potentially will change up how they decide to draft their mid laner, because that champion's really, really good. And I think, yep, White Lotus are going to probably stay with the same bans, but what does NLR change here in this instance? We're just going to see a completely different comp, so Hui still being taken off the table.
Do you think White Lotus will still pick Orianna R4? Because I just
No.
don't see. I don't even see the reason why they did it last draft, to be perfectly honest. But now they definitely won't, right? Because the Poppy is probably top lane, and I think putting the Daz on a counter pick is just a lot safer. They didn't get punished for it because the
Oh, they
Orianna was
banned
not
it.
counter picked really.
They banned the
Okay.
Orianna just now. Okay. So then that
Mhm.
will change. So White Lotus now kind of going for whatever they want in this instance. The Vex ban, I believe, is new. I do not think it was in the first game as I look back. No, it was
No.
okay. So the Talia ban remained the same, and the Vex is new. So White Lotus have options here. They can decide to pick million if they want to. We banned a bunch of mid laners, so at this point, just kind of pick whatever way they were memeing a little bit earlier about
Oh
what
my.
mid laners to pick, and
They're blind
Scarlet
picking
suggested
Aurelion Sol.
Asol. Yep, Scarlet suggested
Blind pick.
Asol. Guess who's
Not
playing it?
forced. Not forced. Their red side, they could pick it fifth. No, they're like, we are going to allow UB Awesome to pick any matchup that he wants. Well, not any matchup. There are some bans. But you can pick with full knowledge your mid laner into Asol, and we will still have the Daz carry us, which is a really absurd
Aatrox.
idea. I don't think that it's really defensible. I think you should take the Asol fifth, in my humble opinion, as a mid lane player occasionally.
Yeah, we're
I'm
blind
curious what
picking.
NLR answer is, though.
We're blind picking Aatrox though in this instance. Now there aren't really a lot of good matchups into Asol, which is why the Talia ban happened, and then the Vex ban happened as well. It could fear him out of his flight and whatnot, and just prevent him from doing whatever he wants. But this champion is broke right now, Aurelion Sol.
True.
Okay, I could vibe with the Syndra pick. I can vibe with the Syndra pick. That is much more. Well, he had Morgana too, but they have a lot more AP than in the last game. I think this is a more front to back ish style of play, because Asol's not going to be anywhere near. Zaya's not going to be anywhere near. It's going to be Rakan, Poppy, and whoever they decide to counterpick with here. They could just pick Cassante again if they wanted to, or they might go for a skill matchup, and that's Jax, Fiora, Camille, Aurelia. They can just kind of pick whatever they want in this instance, and they go for the Ornn for the extra front line. So much for my bruiser versus bruiser matchup. What do I know?
It's interesting. NLR kind of left it open for scaling, and White Lotus picked into their own mega scaling comp. So if NLR, I mean, they kind of were forced into the archetype of being the aggressor, and I think they feel it a little bit better with the Morgana, and definitely with the Syndra instead of Corki. I'm expecting Syndra to do better than the Corki did for UB Awesome, and now Sejuani has a little bit more pressure on her to make the right choices in lane, but she also gets really rewarded if she chooses the right lane to gank. So I think NLR has more options to be able to still not necessarily play the game the way they did last game and actually still have a chance to win.
Yep, and if White Lotus wins this does lock them for first place. So there is still a chance that if they lose these next two and then RAR wins their next three, that they could take Podesta in first place. But if White Lotus, wins all three of their games in the insta lock, that's it. Dunzo, they're just the best, and that's how we'll proceed from there. Now, I do like NLR's draft a lot more. I'm just the only pick I'm not a fan of is the Morgana. I stated why. Prove me wrong is what I will say. Prove me wrong. Poppy is going to be in the jungle. That's a fun matchup to watch all the time. And then Ornn being the counter pick into Aatrox, just stack armor. The two of them will never kill you. Syndra might, but good luck once these Ornn items start coming in. So this is going to be very interesting going into this game. But I think
I
that'll.
did like that.
Oh, yep. Go
I
ahead.
did like White Lotus's adaptation. Like they were the team that won, so you don't usually think of the winning team as adapting. But picking the ASOL whenever you saw how you using Q for you kind of struggled to punish the lanes with his jungle,
Mhm.
and then also switching to Ornn whenever the lane that lost was only just the top lane where you counterpicked and saying we'll just let Ornn scale. It doesn't matter how aggressive Notorious plays. If Ornn scales, it's fine. I
Mhm.
think those new adaptations are really solid, and that does put NLR in a bit of jeopardy because they do have to step it up to win this game because
Yep.
of that.
And will they step it up? We'll definitely have to wait and see when we get into game 2 between these two teams. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in like 5.
We're doing alright. When we are apart, we always do the same dance. Always on the fence, never making sense. I'm not gonna feel a thing tonight. I'm not gonna be the one tonight. Don't wanna hear anything that you say. Your love is a game that I don't wanna play. So don't say you need me when I walk away. So many words, but they don't mean a thing. You blur the lines between love and obscene. So don't say you need me, cause we're not a thing. We're not a thing. We're not a thing. I'm doing alright. Since we are apart, you know it's always the heart first. Don't care if it hurts, you're making it worse. I'm not gonna feel a thing tonight. Not gonna feel a thing. I'm not gonna see your face tonight. Not gonna see your face. Don't wanna hear anything that you say. Your love is a game that I don't wanna play. So cry all you want, but I still walk away. So many words, but you don't mean a thing. You blur the lines between love and obscene. So don't say you love me, cause it's not a thing. It's not a thing. It's not a thing.
Welcome to game 2 of NLR versus White Lotus. And given how the other series looks, if White Lotus win this game, I believe they lock at least tying for first place. Now that's not 100% confirmed, but if they win this game, then Rar has to win all 3 games to tie White Lotus for first, and it is not currently looking like Rar is going to win first game.
Wow, just
So
put the doom and gloom already. They're only down 4 kills last we heard. They like that now. They can still come back. I've seen some things.
That's fair.
9-13 isn't
Oh.
that bad of a deficit. Oh, hello. Sejuani kind of
5 point looking interesting.
Yeah, and once again, Jungler's not trading provision, which I'm finding really surprising. There's a lot of value you can get out of like getting a ward in the enemy jungle, but Sejuani realistically doesn't need a leash here. Will most likely get it from the Morgana W, which will do a lot of help. You don't typically start Morgana W when you're doing Morgana support. You start Q, but I mean, it just depends on what Thornication has.
Oh, they're
in
not
mind.
leashing.
Yep,
So
that's what I thought.
Sejuani-
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I was
Sejuani
actually
starting
hoping that they
Raptors.
wouldn't be leashing. Yeah.
Oh,
I was
both
really
junglers
hoping.
starting Raptors.
Okay, cool.
Which is interesting.
Oh nope,
Grace
that's
getting a
generally what you
nice
do.
little early trade. And Orin is like, fine, I'll just sit back here and scale. I don't have to farm to get levels. I don't want CS anyways.
Unironically accurate. I was just gonna say real quick that neither of these junglers typically get a leash. They will all both do Raptors first. They will start with their main their AoE abilities, which is the S1W and the Poppy Q. And those are the 2 of those. Level 2 ticks over. They do have an advantage here if they decide to go for it.
This is the second time they've gotten level 2 first. Get Thornification Slash again in the exact same way, and for some reason, One White Asian is trading back. Oh.
Okay.
I swear I saw this before. This time Thornification's not low though. It's One White Asian low on health.
Thornification was also forced to flash, so does not have that. Sejuani is
the
here,
same jungle gank.
so using Q.
This is the same jungle gank, I swear to God. Last game it was that coming down.
They blew it's John's flash, but it looks like Poppy is
Oh, it would be awesome. He's in a lot of trouble here, going for a nice trade, but Trush away from Disgrace. I don't think that. Oh, the 30% root means there's no follow up, and now first blood for it would be awesome because he goes for an aggressive trade, and Prowl does not repeat the mistakes of last game. Not mistakes, but the plays of last game, like NLR does, and ganks mid.
Exactly. Went ahead, also burned the flash and the teleport, so all Acel has to do is kind of push this next wave in, or even poke Ubi Awesome out. Doesn't really have the mana for it, so I don't expect too much to come out of that. Poppy will get this blue buff, go retreat into the river. It is an Ocean Drake that will be a first, so each jungler should get a respect. Never mind, they're ganking again because no flash. Oh, yeah.
This is no sums. So Acel just gets to breathe on her for a little bit. Oh, the E save for that. Prowl is now gonna get met by a Sejuani, but the breathing is happening, and the breathing is too much. I think he just got about 30 million stacks and a kill.
Acel is broke. We will be checking in. Well, I'll be checking in later how many stacks that Acel has up until then. But wow, that was unexpectedly not surprising as Prowl, knowing that the Syndra didn't have flash. I was like, yep, let's go for this. I am surprised that after that.
Oh, actually, Notorious in a lot of trouble here, taking a bit of damage. Not gonna finish off or use a flash, but
anyways, there was a slight disengage that started, but then using Q for you went back in and unfortunately lost their life. Also no longer has the flash as well. Notorious will back off and most likely will have to TP back to this lane. It is pretty close to the tower, so should TP back to this lane. I will change that to instead dropping a little bit of poke damage. That's mostly what all this entire bundle is going to be, unless Poppy's here.
Prowl here again. No flash from Thornification, but he does have a binding this time.
Ooh, did not have flash.
Well, I said it because, he did it. Feels nicer to say he had to flash, but I agree that the spell shield probably meant he didn't have to.
The black shield completely negates that and did not. And on One White Asian, unfortunately, blows his flash in this instance. So will that be used to punish later? Most likely advantage over to White Lotus's bot lane, even though, they blew flash earlier. This is
Yeah, White
really
Lotus
difficult.
has changed their champions. Thornication changed his champion, and it's played out the exact same way. Early flash from Thornication because they did not respect the level 2. Early gank from using Q for You doesn't quite work out because of how far behind his own bot lane is. And then Prowl comes in and collects the reward. It's not a kill this time, but it looks damn similar to game 1.
So one thing that they're gonna have to kind of clean up here on the side of NLR is timings and communication and timings. That's how I wanted to word it. So kind of communicating that, hey, I'm getting ready to go in, be ready, or start pushing forward. Now this might give it away, in which case you just back off, reset the play, and then just try again in a little bit. Scan provision in an instance. So this
This is the same game. Or they get all
Interesting, they
3
got all
over for NLR
3.
this time, and the stun comes out, but now there's 3 people on using Q for You. No Zac passive this time. Will get
Flash.
braved on, and that's the second death for Q for You to Asol.
Does get all 3 Void Grubs, so that is the slight plus side, but unfortunately going down again. That snare lands with Varus not there. Could have got some decent poke damage down, but will end up taking a ward in the river and then backing off. These waves should just continue being pushed back and forth. The one white Asian is down 13 CS at the moment. We got pings in the bot lane as
No
Poppy
flashes.
is on her way. So this could be huge, but the snare is up, and if he lands this, it's over.
Dodges this
Ooh.
time. Spell Shield should come out, however, so I don't expect to see anything massive here. And it will just be a push off to get the crash off for sure on the next wave. Maybe
Black
they try for
Shield.
Dragon.
Black Shield is really great.
Yeah, that's one thing Nautilus does not have, for sure.
Yes. However, they could have been winning this lane a little harder if they had a.
Oh, using Q for You caught again. This might be the 3rd death. No flash, and there's a
Asol's
recon here. Asol gets to breathe on him once again. Oh, with a little extra comment too. And they drafted the team that needed the win early, and they're down 2k. Well, 1.5k. Either way, it's just not looking good for NLR because usually 1.5k this early is not great. But you're against Ornn Asol. So.
Well, except Asol has all the gold basically right now instead of Ornn. Ornn's not even up in CS. Like he's down right now. If we took over to the gold, down 300 gold at this moment, but it kind of doesn't matter. I mean, also Notorious is standing on a lot of gold right now at the moment. The Drake will go over. It is an early Ocean Drake. Mountain will be next on the cards. That snare will land, but nothing should come of it. Just being quite an annoyance. But back to this top lane matchup. Ornn's only ahead, quote unquote, because Notorious has a lot of unspent gold at this very moment. Should be going for that Profane Hydra if I'm thinking of my items correctly. It could be going Eclipse first, which I can see that, but using Q for You is here.
I don't think they can get a root though, because just Grace is playing around it a million miles behind them anyway. And I just looked at Asol stacks. He currently has 64, which is the highest I've seen at this time. I believe that's 8 per minute.
Okay. Well, Ornn will dash out of that play, coming back to the bot lane. We got some pings happening mid, so we could potentially have a play, but Syndra is resetting. Will TP back to the lane. Sejuani was also spotted on a ward, I think, in the river, and will just be going up to cover in that direction. TP will come back.
Oh, using Q for You, finding death. That Sun will stop the flight, but there's not really any follow-up, right? Because you can't ult. You ult there, and Syndra won't be there in time.
No, and it's fine. I think you'll actually take that. I mean, it kind of gets the flight down. You kind of neutralizes the lane. It forces Early and Soul to stay a little bit longer, even though I think he was on a reset.
This is going to turn to 2v2 very quickly. Both junglers have ultimates. Uses the W early, so now there will be a knockaway, but now Asol gets to breathe again.
Oh, that's huge.
But the Syndra gets the ultimate on Poppy, flash from both mid and jungle, and they might actually get 6 scrubs, which is like the one thing that they can count on this game. The one thing that they can count that's gone the way they planned.
Yeah, they're coming up in the next 30 seconds, so we do have the advantage positioning over. However, Prowl can come back, and Ornn will have TP shortly, so they think they could potentially come back to this play.
Daz is really playing for the wave, though. So Asol will be really low or in base.
I think so. They're coming up in the next 10 seconds. We have pings on it from both sides. Rakan is up here. Zaya will be coming up this way as well. So really good
Rakan's
rotation
gonna be
because they
late.
want to secure these, and I completely understand. So all they need to do is really get a pick here, and this should be absolutely a freebie for them. And they don't know that the bot lane is up this way. They're still in the bot lane.
Oh, you'll be also gonna get caught. Not stunned, however. The
Oh, we
ultimate
used
is
the
a
ult
little
there.
presumptive, I think, because it doesn't really stop anything. They might get one grab
You
here
can see
before they
Q.
have to back away.
Oh
Red team gets
my
it with
God.
Rakan, and now using Q for you is stunned, charmed, and I think the damage is coming in now. That's Sejuani down. Notorious has to flash away. Aso breathing in the middle of nowhere. Gonna fall to ignite
Right
it,
in
but
the
Lethal Fornication
ignite.
flashes, does not get it. So actually, the Daz just walks away, and so does Yubi Awesome.
Fornication should get out of here too. We'll just walk out of the situation, and that once again the 5 grub plan has been spoiled. Actually, Morgana's back was just stopped up in the top lane. Will just in the meantime, yep, the 5 grub plan has been spoiled once again. They called their bot lane up for that play, which I see is incredibly good back
Oh,
row.
gets
Hold on
onto
here.
this Grace. Cleanse comes through
Cleanse.
over, and now it's really hard to play this. Gets the flash out. You take the flash for Cleanse every time as the one who only used Cleanse. And One White Asian cannot really match this wave easily. There's so many dive potentials once Rakan gets here. And the pressure from Zaya is pretty extreme. Just 1Q auto E and you are dead.
We seem to have also switched who brought cleanse because one white Asian no longer has cleanse and took the ghost instead, and vice versa. Disgrace has the cleanse. Still think cleanse is a really good summoner spell, especially into a Poppy, Rakan, and an Aurelian Soul. So it's a lot of CC that will be coming your way that I think cleanse is good for. So I also noticed that no item is done yet. Oh, he's sitting on 2.3k gold. Okay, so one white Asian should finish most of Bork here, I would believe. Yep. So what's sitting on a lot of gold there? I was wondering why. It's like we're 12 minutes in the game and still sitting on two components. I'm like, interesting, but did finish the tier 2s, so looking forward to that. This will be on hit Varus once again. And it makes sense because you're against Poppy and Ornn, and you want to do a lot of shred damage to them because they're not fun to play against. Stun
Well,
will
Stana did
land.
Daz, but he flies forward. He does not care. Just breathes on Yubi Awesome, and Yubi Awesome has to run away. Cannot run away from the
Good.
stun. One more breath, and that's going to be a rampage for Oysal, and Notorious is carrying the entire team's hopes on his back.
Yeah, I would definitely. Really interesting Acel damage there. That's also with a complete landing.
Yeah,
Finish that.
no comment to that on Riot, but you know, Riot, maybe, I'm not a designer, but hey, you should look into that. The fact that it's a lot of damage. Yubi
James
Awesome
Ford.
also agrees. That's hilarious.
There's no reason why that champion should be as broke as he is, and he's so sleeper, absolutely sleeper with the buffs that they made. It's like people kind of forget Acel exists and how strong he is until Riot buffs him, and they start playing him a little bit, and like, oh, this champion is just broke. But all right,
I've never forgotten. I love that champion. But anyways,
that's
personal
fair.
things aside.
So guys,
Oh, using Q for you, trying to get vision in an area that he definitely does not control, and Black Shield will not
Corruption.
save him. Varus ult might save him for a little bit. Sejuani ult might save him for a little bit, but how long is a little bit
And
really gonna
Q yet?
last?
We decided to go away from here in this instance.
Acel's flying in though. No ultimate on Acel, but he's got the breath, and the breath is scary, so Fornication will back off. Yeah, surely. Fornication, you don't need to see him. Okay, they actually do decide to look into it. No ultimate from Acel.
Nope, no TPs from the top laner, so this will be a clean.
Oh, Sejuani comes in a little early, but not the worst. Barely doesn't get the steal. Yeah, he tried to get a little bit of a mind game. Now Fornication ulting to try to run away, but it breaks, and I don't think One White Asian can slow enough. Breathing in. Now Daz can fly in again if he wants. And I think he got stopped by Syndra's E, actually, but I mean, I kind of get it. You have to smite early in that situation because you really want the mind game, because there's no way you do outdamage Poppy smite Q. I don't know. It's really hard to get that.
Yeah. Assuming Zaya was going to pull back on that as well. Yeah, that's just a lot of damage you weren't going to outsmite. So, unfortunately, the mind game did fail.
Oh, now he's getting dove, no cleanse, so he is going to fall. And
I mean,
one...
no
Disgrace
flash
going for the
still
ultimate
dies there
afterwards.
anyways. Just it had no flash anyway, so it's still gonna die there regardless. Even having cleanse there,
That's true.
so
That's
it
true.
was just a clean dive. They didn't juggle the aggro.
Fornication
as
trying to
well.
pretend that he's a
Hold on,
carry. Bell Shield goes away immediately, but the Weird on Disgrace means they can't finish the dive. So he
Hold
actually
on.
is able to hold the wave.
Hold on, Morgana can carry. She is the reason I got the silver. in season
Sorry, I'm
4.
sorry. I mean,
I
not in this
one-tricked that
instance.
champion. I one-tricked Morgana to silver in season 4 and half of season 5. That's how I got there. The game
I'm
was
just
very
saying, like-
different back then, though.
I'm just saying, this fornication was half health, had a support item and a haunting, guys. It didn't look like he could hold there. But he did it, so I guess you're right. Morgana's broken and people should play it carry more often.
Oh, she's not broken.
Cancels that. But, I mean, this is the only lane that has any chance, and now Ornn's ulting in, and
there's
Acel
three
is
people here.
coming. Notorious does not know yet. Breathing is coming in. I don't think they're
Said
even going
no.
to use the ultimate. He might try to. Breathing in gets canceled. But there's
That's a
just
lot
so
of
much CC.
healing.
Prow's actually going kind of down. They're being pretty greedy, but they can afford to be. And Daz will get that kill. And now they brought in using Q for you. Like, being so greedy, they've baited in. But it doesn't matter. Using Q for you can get out pretty easily. And now everyone's here for the Herald, but only one team's going to get it. And I'm pretty sure I know which one it is.
That was huge if they had their damage there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, Prow going in look crazy.
Oh, this
Now
is
the
gonna hurt.
Acel ultimate comes to protect. They kind of misuse their stuff, but it doesn't really matter with how far ahead they are. Prow will get
Good
to 1
flash.
health and die. But I think the rest of NLR is still in trouble.
Acel
Daz
hurts
is
a
stunned
lot.
up, breathing away, not
No
able
way
to
he
get using
lives.
Q for you. Meanwhile,
No way
John
he
coming in
lives.
to try to get the kill. And actually, they just get Poppy for nothing. I mean, not for nothing as the overall play, but at the end, yeah, Prowl just kind of died.
I have thoughts. I do believe Acel is supposed to be with Leandry, so I think having that there maybe secures the kill on using Q for you.
But the Riley slow is also relevant, so I don't know.
I think having Leanders done first probably would have been better. I mean, still would have probably got this egregiously fed regardless of whether Leanders or Riley's first. Because clearly the
No, I
Daz
just
is
mean-
good at Acel.
The Riley's finish means the slow also mattered. So, like, with the Leandries, you wouldn't have the slow, so there would be less tick damage. I don't know. It's hard to say if it would have mattered.
But
Using Q for you, going
okay.
aggressive, but no ultimate means that he can't really do anything but stare at him and run him off and, act like a border collie and bark at him. But they just kind of group
My
together
man's-
and say, we are stronger.
my man's we're just walking at them. You just killed them right
Yeah,
now.
and now they're walking away.
Interesting. Okay. This will be the
He's
bot lane
just
tower
killing the
falling.
tower and then going in on one white Asian. He has to flash out, but the breathing is still coming. Meanwhile, the Varus burst
Good
is pretty big.
win.
Actually gets the shutdown of 1,000 gold and walks out of the E. And says, Daz, dude, come on. Come on, you can't disrespect me that much.
That was
Surely.
the result of lethal tempo Varus and cycling your abilities correctly. Well done, One White Asian gets a free 1,000 gold. Yes, I will say it. That was a free donation that Daz went in on. But
It's going to take a few more donations, I fear, to really make this game heat up.
Yeah, we're gonna start the Herald on the other side. Both supports will be here. Thornication does have to back off. It's John is here. Ornn will be here in a second. We are gonna be getting okay, never mind. Nope. Top laner and mid laner are just back, so this should go over to them. Varus is not here yet, so they're doing the
They're getting a
slow-
little cold feet to engage. Prowl getting a really nice ultimate
Okay,
on
that's
Sejuani.
huge. Do not continue.
Yeah,
this. You
there's
have
no smite
smite.
contest now, so you just have to burst. And they do get the burst, and that's a steal. Now the Ornn
Well done.
ultimate means they can just disengage, and I'm not sure they want to disengage. Daz doesn't, but the rest of the team says, Daz, come on, you just died. Don't do this again.
Daz has 193.
Oh, he's doing it again. He's doing it again.
There he
Breeze
is.
on using Q for you. Does not care that there's 3 CC champions staring him in the face.
Nope.
And just walks
That's
away.
that's pretty not surprising. I mean, it's a 2-item Acel. Has the burn from the Leandries like I was hoping, and just is going to become obnoxious. This will be a free Infernal Drake for them. They really can't contest this, so using Q for you would be suicide to go
Oh, he doesn't even have
in.
vision. Goes in to die while the dragon's still sitting at 3k.
Yeah,
Gets
he's
out
just
barely. But I don't think he's going back in. And now One White Asian Newbie Awesome have joined in on the
God.
suicide pact. And Asol gets everything. They might even come over for a triple. Just breeze over. I don't think they're going to give it to Daz because he's surely too low. No, they do. And it's a
Yep.
triple for Asol, a dragon for the third dragon for White Lotus, and I believe a pretty clear path to victory.
Using Q for you, unfortunately, going in with no vision. The team was not ready for him to respond to that. Ends up being a 3-0. It might have been 4-0, actually. I think it was 3. But the both.
I think he just didn't communicate to his team that it was a solo mission. Like, I'm going in for the smite. And One White Asian is like, I can help with that smite. But it turns out that AD carries cannot help with smite. All they can do is die to Asol breath. I should say that. He did solo kill Asol. But, you know, in that moment, it was just a little bit more than Asol.
Just a little bit. I think Asol will have. I'm going to take over to the gold for a second. 2,300 gold. Yeah, we'll have the gold for the Archangel. So we'll be on 3 items by the time.
260 stacks of 21 minutes.
Yep. That is something. I don't even know how to play Asol because I haven't really played him much myself. I've seen what the champion can do. This really strong upgraded Sky's Descend, which is going to be raining down on NLR in the next couple of minutes, especially with Poppy finishing the Kanik Rookern. We'll enjoy that for sure, as it's a big source of MR, if I do believe so. Yep, MR. Really strong item. We just said now at this point rotating vision up towards the top side of the map, and we're trading vision. Actually, they should have. Yeah, they definitely saw that word. So this is gonna be really interesting. But we do have some split pushing going
Maybe also
on.
getting the objective bounty, the first tower of the game. Oh, not quite. Here comes Asol. Ult, breathe, rampage.
That's a 3-item Asol.
I think we're not gonna stop at 3 items. There's gonna be a few more.
Possibly. At this point, it's 4v5. They should just start the Baron. I mean, top laners should be road pathing down this way. At this point, they just need one more pick, and they can secure the Baron for themselves on the side of White Lotus. We got lots of pinks in the river. Ornn being forced to flash. This is very being safe for that third.
You think E4U is actually here to punish as well? They're teleporting in, but if they can get this kill on Zerathorn, it's not nothing. Gets the kill, only goes to using Q4U, so Notorious is still not going to get that gold payoff, and you know who is getting the gold payoff? The Daz, because Daz flashes out of the damage, and I believe that Notorious is coming in, but will not be coming out. Actually, as I cast it, just things are going the opposite way. Notorious has still full health, running into 4 not so full health members of White Lotus. Zaya's on the flank, which is not really where you want to see Zaya. She is far ahead, so maybe she'll go for it. Disgrace, have you considered? Decides not to, and suddenly they kind of have control around the Baron area for at least, you know, the next 30 seconds. It's kind of weird. I don't know how to play this. I doubt the players do. What do we do? Like, we technically have a lead, but we can't start Baron. So they're just kind of staring at each other.
You just gotta wait. Yeah, you gotta wait just a minute and a half for the Drake, so that way you can threaten the Soul and threaten the Baron, which is what you should be doing in this instance. Make sure you have enough vision on the top side, while also simultaneously getting in the pushes in the mid lane and the bot lane to give you a nice hold on
for you. Just gets the dash out, surely, but there's no tower. Doesn't matter. They give him the benefit of the doubt, so he gets
no, but. Like I said, they should be prepping not their sideways, but mid and bot lane for this next Drake. They can threaten either Soul or Baron. They can kind of do whatever they want on the map right now, as they are over 5,000 gold ahead. They should just reset right now, spend whatever gold that they have, get pink wards, drop a couple in the top river, and then drop a couple in the bot lane river. Get that vision control around the Dragon Pit. Set your waves to push against NLR, and then have a prime positioning for the Soul. But we're resetting right now, 35 seconds until, and we could be vision trading here for the next 30 seconds.
So Ornn may be the only one behind his lane opponent, but Ornn has something that Notorious cannot have, which is his first ornament, and it's only going to get worse from here. Meanwhile, using Q4U force the Q over the wall, and it's really hard for them to get any kind of vision. Probably face checking, getting stunned. Probably going to be okay though, as now using Q4U will fall. And Asol gets one on the backside, by the way, from over the pit, flies in, gets another
Jeez.
one. We'll probably get a triple kill. Meanwhile, Notorious trying his best to 1v3. Not quite gonna work out. And
All right.
yeah, 5-0.
They can get both now, I will say. They will most likely take this Baron. They will go for, or the Dragon rather, then they'll go for the Baron after this. Are we pinging for it? Are we going for it? We are running up that way, so I do believe that they will go ahead and get the Baron here. No TPs to respawn, or an item goes over to the Asol. Now Leandri's Lament.
Respectable.
Extra scaling for him. Sitting on 400 EP at the moment. I think you just do death cap at this point. They should have plenty of gold by the time this is gone. And they're just melting through it because that is a 3-item Asol and that is a 2.25 item Zaya. So this will be long gone. The gold will balloon and they are in prime control for this game.
Yeah. Which player do you think would have to disconnect for needlessly large rods to have a chance?
At least 3 people.
Okay, I was gonna say just the Daz and they might have a shot, but I like your gambit. Yeah, 3 people, they probably do win.
I will be honest in this moment in time. Even though NLR did draft better, it seemed like their macro was a little lacking in this game. Giving up the first Drake after losing the Grubs fight, I do think, or it might have been Drake might have went down before that, but not capitalizing on making sure you have vision around the Dragon Pit to know where the enemy jungler is. So that way you see if you need to trade the dragon or trade the grubbies. So that way, you know, little weird little fights don't happen. And you get at least one prime neutral objective. We're actually fighting. Never mind, we are not.
I mean, it's just really interesting to see that, Zerathorn and Notorious going at it, but there's an Infernal Soul on Zerathorn and 2 ornaments, means that he's got 10% bonus health, so it's gonna take a while.
Also has
and
Bramble
Notorious
Vest.
is just taking so much damage. Oh, One White Asian finds the Daz.
Now he doesn't win this
Way
this
back.
time.
Yeah, no tower.
No.
Goes down.
Not even just that. Just it's an almost 4-item Asol will be finishing death cap.
1 kill for you. Using Q for you, trying to get the revenge. Oh, actually,
they-
it's not impossible. The coming in of the
Never
ultimate
mind, he
is
wins.
pretty good though, and you look at the 3 million minions. You'd be awesome
kills
flashes
Syndra,
in to try
too.
to get something. I think it would be awesome does get an ultimate off, but it doesn't matter because Seraph's Embrace.
Yep.
Always the pesky Seraph's Embrace.
Will most likely just back, get the death cap, or get the tier 2, then back and get the death cap while his team is ending the game in this instance. Ornn will be coming here from the top lane. I'm not sure will TP to you. Should just rotate down to the bot lane when this wave gets to the tower. Or just stay in
They're
the base.
teleporting him top. Or Orange teleporting top. Okay, never mind. I misread the map.
They could
They
end the
feel
game
bad.
right now. They could just,
They
just
probably
brute
will.
force this.
Yep, and flash in to make sure that One White Asian will fall one more time. Notorious has a spell shield, but his spell shield giver is gone, and now his spell shield is gone, so he will fall. And Thornication probably is too scared. Oh, he died right outside the fountain.
Yep.
Yikes. And that's the
Game
game.
2 goes
2-0.
over.
Can I get confirmation of the RAR game? Did RAR win that game?
That.
Alright,
Okay.
It seems that Baron Buddies won it, so that means that now we know that White Lotus is secured first place for the league.
Congratulations,
because-
you can troll next game if you wanted to.
That's not what I meant, but you know. Regardless, it's really interesting that Needlessly Large Rods, they really did well to adapt the draft, and then they played the exact same bot lane first 3 minutes, like bar for bar. I think the only thing that changed is they got surprised by the level 1, and this time, One White Asian decided to trade back, so now he's on low health.
Mm-hmm.
It was
that-
like the exact same bot lane. You could put an overlay on it, and it would be the same.
So one thing we gotta just change up a little bit is drafting a harder pushing bottom lane. That's why I would prefer to put once again I see you put Varus with Nautilus and you automatically have all the threat in the bot lane that you need.
Still on
Because-
that Nautilus.
Everyone knows that Nautilus hitbox is dumb, so having that
Mhm.
threat just kind of gives a little bit of a easier time to push the bot lane. But We'll have to wait and see what they're cooking up for game 3. So the teams are getting into the lobby, and we'll find out what sides they are in a second. But we're gonna cut to a break. So you guys take care, get some water, and we'll be right back in just a second.
Somewhere in between what will and has been, it's a constant fight, oh my. But I'm not falling, even if I'm holding a little. No, I'm not falling. But when did I get lost in the middle of time?
All right, welcome back to the third draft. The third draft where NLR versus White Lotus, where NLR will be blue side once again. Maybe the third draft where Varus will be first pick.
Do not first pick the Varus. It does a lot of damage. Yes, I do think they should pick something that they are more comfortably on, as I always said. In this case, if I go back to my listing real quick, where in the world? Where are you guys at? Where are you guys at? So in this instance, there are other things. There's a lot of other things that are really strong right now in the meta. So if if you're comfortable on it, I say play Callista. Callista's really good at this very moment. She's really hard. That's the thing. Is we're gonna go to draft right now. Callista is difficult, so looks like NLR is changing up. They're gonna go ahead and ban the Pantheon. Then we're gonna. I think
Seems
White
a
Lotus
little
will probably stick
interesting.
with the same first round of bans.
What does the Pantheon ban mean? Does that mean they're changing their first pick because they're worried about a counter pick, or because Pantheon has not been banned or played in the entire series so far?
Now, I do believe it is a target ban, if I'm thinking correctly. Nope, nobody plays it actually. So, oh, I know what they're doing.
I think the team is doing some gentleman agreements, but it falls through. Yon goes
No,
through.
they're not. NLR are picking a run it down comp. That's what they're doing.
Not possible. There's no chance that they ask to be on stream.
So
No, let's treat it a little seriously just for a little bit longer, okay? Maybe they befuddled us, but wait, Nunu could be a really good jungler here. Think about it. Yon is available, but Daz does not pick it yet. That could be top lane Twisted Fate, but
could be anyone, yes.
I feel like I'm watching the wrong draft.
I feel like I kind of know where the rest of the bans are gonna go. You'll see it in a second, depending on if they ban Ivern and any other champion that has an S in their name.
I don't think we're supposed to mention that. It's definitely strategic. Echo, Daz plays Echo, and Nocturne's pretty good right now.
Interesting choice.
And it looks like NLR has lost their captain. And that's why they were messing around, right? Surely. So we will be remaking the draft. I mean, I'm gonna have to ask what the heck is gonna happen with the picks, like, because I believe that they were. I mean, I don't think someone hijacked it, right? Like, that's the one possibility where NLR someone got the wrong link. But
I'm not entirely sure.
we'll just have to update you as it goes in, okay? We'll just have to update you as it goes in. I believe that the teams are communicating. So we'll update you. I don't think that it's gonna stand that way, right? Like, surely surely someone hijacked the draft link, right? This is my
We
theory.
had a browser crash, but they said they're gonna do the same pick bands.
Oh, they want the same picks and bans. They don't want to redo. Okay, yeah, okay. So we are going to see new Maokai Twisted Fate locked in.
Yep. So, going in from here, we will expect to see the Pantheon, Echo, and the Nocturne, I'm assuming, coming out of the
Yep.
bands. We will be first picking the new, which we will find out where that goes momentarily, as literally that could be anywhere. I'm not kidding, it could be anywhere at this point. I've seen it in every role except the 80 carry role, so that is a possibility. So we will see the new, we will get the insta-lock on the Maokai and the Twisted Fate from here. I don't know what they were going to pick, because Captain for NLR.
Very important and popular picks in the meta, like Ezreal.
I do like Ezreal here. I mean, he's not as strong as he was last patch, but still a pretty decently strong pick. Might as well pair it with the Karma just to be on the safe side. Karma is still ridiculous for who knows what reason. The Karma being really one of the strongest AD carry or strongest supports rather on the patch, as I will one day get my roles right. So picking from here, they could. I would say just pick the Karma, get that out the way. This will be most likely ADTF. We're picking Zeri. All right, never mind.
That's good. What do you think Zeri's doing here?
I don't know. Because
what part of the team comp really is benefited by the Zeri?
Keria in the LCK did
We're not
pick
gonna see
real support, so this
we're not gonna see Iron Van. Surely not Iron Van. You're wrong.
It's gonna be something. We'll see in a moment. But going back onto the Ezreal, so this could be an Ezreal support, as we did see it in the LCK. Keria did play it. Yep.
Well, Iron's really good in the meta, so they were really scared because they thought the Maokai and Sejuani were in other lanes.
Yeah, and they banned an S champion, and then what's your next excuse?
Sejuani. Oh, because, you know, your Drenastrike Dragons. I mean, they're banning a lot of junglers, so, you know, they're scared of the Shyvana as well.
I see we've decided to troll the last game in LR. Even though it is your final game, you should still try to go out on a bang. You know,
this is definitely something.
No, it's definitely something. So definitely try to go out on a bang instead of, yeah, we're just we're definitely trolling here.
I mean, if it wins, it's legendary, right? It's just forever talked about.
Interesting.
I believe that this is what we call a mental boom.
Well,
I don't even know if Daz is going to play Yone because it feels like bullying a child.
Potentially. So we have a quadruple 80 carry comp. Most likely is a new. We're not sure where they are.
They do decide to put Daz on the Yone. I mean, okay, never mind. Fair enough. You know what?
I mean, yeah, playing a Kali, he's 480 carries. You can blow 4 of them up, minus, Graves more or less.
You don't dunk on a 4-year-old. You don't put Daz on Yone against this comp. I respect it. I think this is the first time that Daz has not played Yone in an entire series. And it's not because
why not? I mean,
against him.
It knows it doesn't have to. It's the first place game, so we'll find out where all these champions go in a couple of seconds. In the meantime, we're not going to dissect this too hard, so we're going to go cut to a break right now while we go to draft, and we'll see you guys on the other side. Catch you later.
could say nothing. You told me that I am not around. I could say nothing. If only I made it out of town. Or I could say hi for a minute now. Your lies I can't forget about. Hi for a minute now. Or I could say nothing. When you told me that I am not around. I could say nothing. If only I. Would you ever? I wake up in silence, turning our face an empty bed. There's no one besides me, and I try to remember what I've said. It's hard to remember, 'cause I can see glass all in my room. I'm searching for answers. Why did you leave? What did I do? Oh, can we turn back time so we can redo last night? I think that I messed up, but it's all erased from my mind.
Okay, welcome back to game 2 between Baron Buddies and Rar. We just saw, as we know, Baron Buddies took the Baron, and Rar's on the back foot. As I was talking about earlier in the game, you know, this Lux having so many kills and so many items is pretty big, huh? Meanwhile, T1 Kubiyusi with the Baron kind of
Oh,
throwing it here, might go down.
Oh, okay, there we go. The ultimate Fear Beyond Death will go ahead and take her out. That is a pretty crucial kill to get on the Yorick there. Camille down there to help as well. This will stave off the split push, which pretty much that's all Yorick does. Kind of moving on from there, they will continue to push in the bot lane, kind of get some gold back into their pockets. It is only a 5,000 gold lead 25 minutes into this game, and they will continue to push it forward on the side.
And as you mentioned earlier, the fact that they chose this auction means that they've gotten 3 dragons for themselves. Really key point that we brought up in draft. So that means that they're actually on soul point despite having a deficit.
Yeah, they're gonna be really good about that, especially with the amount of CC that's on the other side. They're gonna that Ezreal's gonna hit. Okay, well, didn't do as much as I thought it would. Not yet. One more item, and that actually would have been big deeps, but still losing a third of your health to that is really huge. This is a Chemtech Rift. We're just waiting for the next soul at this point. Marie Leeson is going to be pushing their advantage. 196 CS here, 26 minutes. Will potentially try to go in on the. Okay, maybe not. Not ideal.
Yeah, but I don't think they're going to get enough off this Baron to really secure the advantage they need to really make sure they get this dragon.
I do not believe that they. If I'm thinking.
Oh, meanwhile, Camille with the flank,
yes.
but gets rooted,
Hold
ulted,
up.
and has to flash out. Doki's coming in alone. So yes, he gets the 5-man ultimate, but it'll fall before anyone else can come in. And suddenly the Baron's looking a little more real.
Yeah, they should be able just to use this for the next minute. Push this into. Oh my goodness, some good damage onto Apollo there. Will end up backing off. They should be able to. Okay, never mind. Brand wave clear is too good, so they should get the bot tier 2. Wait for this next wave. This will be the last wave. They will push with this Baron. This tower will fall as we have a 4 and 2
no
situation.
Baron on Yorick, but it might not matter if Nox just goes alone. Jonicus is here, no flash though.
No.
And that is Camille's support, as everyone knows because we were watching this game earlier. But just, just reminding everyone that it's Camille's support, so it's not quite as damaging as you would normally believe.
Yep, and that tower finally fell in the mid lane. That will expose the inhibitor as well. We will be seeing the fall of 2 inhibitors, most likely, as the bot lane wave will be buffed up thanks to Carria on the Karma.
Almost not here, but Magic goes down.
Okay.
Yeah, they don't even need their jungler. Alma's just taking the dragon. And meanwhile, the rest of Baron Buddies is cleaning up the base. Doki gets the soul out, but he might trade it for his life. Not quite, just able to walk away. Inhibitor's down. Dragon is taking forever to take, by the way, because it is just a Jarvan.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not really that big of a deal. I mean, they just need to push this advantage.
Finally
Baron
goes
did
down.
pull off earlier. This will also be the soul for them. Actually, Urgot might be caught here. Oh, the Steric Shield does end up. Never mind. The Steric Shield is not enough. He does fall down, so Lucifer will fall.
Baron Buddies might just go for the end here. It'd be a little greedy, but Jarvan is on the way with a wave.
They should wait for the wave. They can go now. They just need to walk up. The 2 will respawn.
Oh, Gumiyusi taking tower aggro. Walks out with Karma Shield, so it's fine. But Doki gets a soul, but he's just alone. There's no way. He's rooted, so he can't even ultimate if it was up. And I guess Apollo's got a lot of work to do. You talked about the wave clear a second ago, but how about the champion clear? Luxol gets magic claps.
Nice.
And now Jarvan just comes in for the engage. He's alone under tower, but the tower's not long for the world. It will make him die. Tower will fall shortly afterwards, but they get the Camille, which means it's just Brand, soon Urgot. Doesn't matter. Baron Buddies picks up their second game, and that leaves them 2-0 in the series. And they are securing some nice comeback into the standings with that.
Mm-hmm. That will bring them up to 7 and 7, I believe, if my math is correct. So they will just need to win one more game and take over that second spot from RAR. But that's one more game will definitely tell in that instance. We'll find out in a little while, but a very strong game coming in. Looking forward to seeing what can be done in this next and final game of the night.
Yeah. I'm gonna look into the drafts that we were covering earlier for this series that we've been covering all night. Just to see what that games draft was very interesting though. Like I'm curious what was the idea behind the Akshan Camille bot lane. I mean, to be honest, it does look like the RAR side has some substitutions. Doki in top lane whenever they were planning to have someone else. Um, so I imagine that they're just trying out different things that are not exactly meta, but it's still very interesting to see Akshan Camille bot lane. I don't think I've seen that ever.
Yeah, one thing I'll always kind of preach about is you pick to your strengths. You know, make sure that you have a clear and concise draft, and make sure you have a clear and concise game plan. You know, because you don't want to troll in draft naturally, because otherwise it's gonna look weird and kind of seem disrespectful to your opponent. So that's something to kind of keep in mind.
Oh, thank you for that PSA.
So kind of just we're gonna move on. You kind of expect what's happening. We are gonna have some not exactly lane swapping per se, but we are gonna have some lane swapping. So from what I was reading earlier, it looks like Apollo is gonna go top lane, and I don't have who said was jungling, but there will be some swapping.
We'll get an LCS order soon. It looks like Roar has picked red side. It'll be Apollo top lane, Doki jungle,
Yeah,
and then
there we
everything
go.
else will remain the same. So Doki obviously plays a lot of jungle, not so much top lane. It looked like he was not having the best engages at the end of the game there. But jungle might be a little bit more fortuitous for them. Not sure how they'll adapt to having Apollo in the top lane though.
Definitely have to find out, but
And
that's a question for later. So we'll figure that one out as these teams get ready. We're gonna go ahead and take a smidgen of a little break, and then we'll be right back.
Oh, I don't mind a little rain on my suit. A little bit of anger makes you cute. And we've been watching this show so long, but it feels like everything that we wrote went back into the pen we used. Won't take long, even when I'm without you and I'm without you, babe. So listen up and play along. And that's how time flies, like we're on a different timeline. Tell me that you're here with me.
Right, welcome back to Baron Buddies versus RAR, Game 3. Baron Buddies is up 2-0 now. RAR is trying to keep their second place right now, right? If Baron Buddies win,
Mhm.
they'll be second place in the league.
Yep.
Is that right?
They
Okay.
will end up being ahead of them, meaning that not like it matters because they're still next week, of course. I mean, there could be weird things that happen, with how well that White Lotus is playing right now. I do believe they are in game 3 right now, so we'll check in with that later. We already said they kind of more or less secured first place. There's still games next week though, so wildly
Mhm.
anything can happen. But if the players are ready for draft, I do believe we can go ahead and get that one going. So I guess the teams are saying R, but no one's hitting the R button. So never mind. We're not going to start draft yet. So we're just going to go ahead and I'm going to
Classic.
continue yapping for a second. In this instance, if Baron Buddies want to win this game, they just keep doing what they've been doing all night. Making proactive plays, actually good macro, and drafting to your strengths, which is something I will always advocate for. I do believe that we are going to have RAR on red side, if I'm thinking correctly. Yes. Okay. So RAR is on red side, and then Baron Buddies will be on blue side. What do they first pick here? They can kind of first pick whatever they want, to be completely honest. I
I'm
do
curious
believe. Yeah.
if Baron Buddies will ban Maokai because of how much Doki really likes it whenever he plays jungle. Not necessarily to play it, but because he loves flex picking. Um, I don't know if they just let him have that. Let Doki have a little bit of flex for his last game for
Right.
the week, or if they take it away because it is his signature. We're just gonna be waiting a little bit for the draft.
I'm kind of just watching chat right now. Yeah, it's just what are we doing? Someone broke it, didn't they?
Someone broke it indeed. Oh,
Oh,
wait,
now they
wait.
started. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into the draft. From here, we have the Udyr ban. Udyr is a pretty obnoxious champion throughout every single league at this moment in time. We can also see, Raw's probably going to take their time with the bans in this instance. Not surprising. You're down 0-2 at this moment. You want to kind of keep that advantage that you have at the moment over over Baron.
Also, you kind of switch your entire lineup. I mean, not your entire lineup, 2 players, but you switch your 2 players topside. So draft gets a little different there.
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and have the Varus ban. Not really that surprising to be completely honest. Zach ban being taken away is also 2 really strong picks being banned away so far. Zach is really strong in the top lane. Jungle as well, mostly abused in top lane, as we've seen, other pro regions like the LCS, the LEC, and even I believe the LPL as well. Udyr being strong just all the time, dumb champion. That's all I'll say. Varus being always prioritized. It also implies that they might pick Callista if they decide that they want to go over that route. We're going to go ahead and let the time run out. They will ban the Yasuo instead, which is a target ban. And Yasuo is not a fun champion to play against, that's for sure. But
No.
from here, Maokai is taken off the table. Smart ban to take it away from Doki, like you had mentioned. That is a really strong pick. And Roar now has to decide what they want to do. Ban another really strong champion or ban a comfort pick. I think you just kind of pitch champion pools at this point, especially out of the best 2 players, I will say. So kind of just chip champions off from those 2, and
One
kind of
thing
take
I
control
do want
from
to
there.
point out:
Karma, okay.
RAR has played non-traditional bot lanes 2 games in a row. We saw the Camille auction, which is very non-traditional, and then just a Senna lane for the first game, which is not that different. But it
Oh,
does
Senna's
mean
nice.
that yeah. But I'm wondering if they're going to continue their route of not picking a typical, or I guess, like, I don't know, traditional AD carry and support.
They have options here. They can kind of do whichever half that they want to. So, excuse me once again. We have the Zyra that was picked this time. Will be first picked, so kind of have a lot of options of what this could be going with, or it could be going in the mid lane, as Zyra is arguably a flex pick. We haven't seen Zyra mid in a long time, and I do mean a long time, but that's something that can be played. We will be letting Doki. So looks like we're gonna go ahead and pick the Ivern in
Whoa, that's not real.
Nidalee. It could
That's
be
not
Italy
real.
top.
Don't talk about Italy. It's not Italy. It's something else. Ivern's an interesting jungle though. Definitely not
Could
what
be
I've
Ivern
seen
top.
from Doki before. Okay. It could be Ivern top or support, I suppose.
Yeah, no, it could,
Even Ivern mid technically.
oh
I
no.
just don't see why you would pair the Ivern with the Nidalee if Ivern's not jungle because it just doesn't. Okay.
A soul. Okay, I mean, the hovering the Nidalee kind of implies to me that it's probably either going to be in the jungle or actually in the top lane as a tank build. There is a tank Nidalee build that exists. Whether or not it's still good, I'm not entirely sure. But the Aurelian Soul going to be picked instead. Seems like we just saw this champion a little bit ago, kind of 1v9. So interesting that we're gonna probably see it again.
Whoa.
As Yone is picked, really good at keeping away from the Yone when using the Soul Unbound. But you can also miss everything and still kill everybody because Yone is that champion for whatever reason. Makes no
Yeah, Baron
sense
Buddies
to me.
might be asking to borrow the Daz for a little bit if he's done with his older
Mhm.
game. But Yon and Zyra is very interesting together. Just like this
Really good setup.
aggression in two lanes that I mean, obviously Yon is not as aggressive early,
Nice,
but
good.
still Vi as well, just setting up for that massive team fight that is really on your Yon to deliver.
And in
Especially in
this
something like Isol.
Yeah, and in this instance, it's also going to be, again, paired with the Zyra for really good setup. So that way, if the Zyra snare stands, the cease and desist can come through, or even the Vi Q can also come through and pretty much turn a fight into their favor, or even start a really good fight in their favor. As Rar will take a last second to pick Nyla here. So Nyla is one of those weird champions you don't really see that often unless you're really confident on that champion. So I'm actually excited to see this. They will ban away the misfortune. We're probably going to pinch the AD carry pool a little more, kind of force Marie onto something else. But
Do you
blue
expect like a
here,
Nautilus Alistair ban from Baron Buddies here?
possibly. I'm gonna go with the Ornn instead. Implies to me this could be Yo and top actually if they decide to ban another tank. Really, another good tank would ban in this instance would probably be Malphite. I would say that's an option for what Baron Buddies can go for in this case. Or on the other side, there's also Scion. That's not two picks we see terribly often at this present time. Scion more, or sorry, Malphite more, but Scion less so. And time will run out as they do decide to ban the Fiora instead. Eliminate a split push threat.
They
I
do
will
not
always
see a good
advocate
on
for.
top.
I've 100% wholeheartedly. I will always advocate for someone banning Fiora if they play that champion because if you leave a Fiora in a side lane for too long, it's just donezo. She's just too good. So the Renata ban will come through. That is typically what you see with the Nyla is the Renata. So taking that away is actually a really good draft choice. Also negates any kind of cheeky nonsense that might go on in the bot lane. As we haven't
There's
picked
still
the
cheeky
AD carry
nonsense to be
yet.
had. Believe me.
Yeah.
Nyla can do some cheeky nonsense, especially into a squishy target like Zyra, and Rel is perfect to put with it. Just a typical standard CC tank bot that loves going in.
Mm-hmm. So this does leave a Baron Buddies with 2 picks left. And apparently we've just been informed that Disgrace got a pentakill in their series to end the game. So there you go.
Wow.
Cassante will be picked. That's all the front line they need. They just need some AP damage, which I guess that's what the Zyra's for. Never mind. We're probably going to draft another AD carry here. I don't expect it to be a mixed damage one. Not a good idea to do that. But we'll see whether or not this is a... Okay, so we're going Zyra Seraphine. That's what we are going. That is a lot of disgusting damage, and I'm not saying I don't like it for their draft. I don't like it because it just sounds too gross to that it's going to have to be dealing with.
It just feels disgusting to talk about.
It's going to be obnoxious, a lot of damage, and I'm not looking forward to it. So...
Yeah, but if Nyla Rel can just dodge one CC ability, suddenly they get all the free time in the world to destroy those squishy mages.
Yeah, they have a lot of poke, though. That's what's going to stop them doing so. The time did run out on the final pick. Let's wait and see what they said. Oh,
Trundle. Second Trundle pick of the night.
All right, these kids are saying they can't find Trundle, and what are you spelling? I can see them. So Oh, it froze in the last 10 seconds. Never mind. Okay. Can we all use a better browser, please? Like, can we do that? Like, stop using Chrome. Chrome bad. Chrome bad for your computer. I don't care what anyone says. Chrome bad.
We are not
All right.
sponsored, by the way, by any browser.
But you know who we are sponsored by.
Who would be sponsored by?
I don't have the message actually, so you're gonna have to read it.
Oh,
Never
it's
mind.
Coachify.gg. I do know who we're sponsored by. And it's a platform for esports coaches to track their students and grow their business. And it works really well with browsers that aren't like Chrome. With 0 commissions, it's free to join, and it has course tracking and PayPal integration. It's the perfect tool for coaches who want to level up. And if you use a good browser with it, it'll be perfect.
See? There you go. So with the last pick will come through. Team should be starting draft here in a second. We will be throwing up the predictions up there at the moment. So it is Trundle in the top lane. So keep that in mind. We are looking forward to getting into this final game of the night, and we shall have lots of fun while doing so. I like both these drafts, to be completely honest with you. Really strong team fight potential out of both, and that's all I have to say about that. What do you have?
I mean, I'm just interested in see how bot lane goes because it's very polarizing. You'll know within like the first 5 minutes if Nyla gets to play the game. But if Nyla gets to play the game, it's suddenly on Yon to be able to do everything for the team. So,
Yep,
and then it's also very interesting the juxtaposition of Nyla, Ivern, and then Asol. Like team fight wise, these champions work really well together. But the idea of just having a really weak mid lane and then a really strong bot lane while requiring Asol to kind of scale into the game is a little scary because you want Ivern to help the Nyla Rel, but if you don't help the Asol, Yon can get a little out of control, especially with Vi. So it really is on the junglers to make the right choices more than anything, and it's a very difficult choice to make.
Yep. So I feel like I've seen this matchup with the Kasane Trundle. We'll find out what happens once again. So players will be loading into the game in the next few minutes. So that'll do it for us. We'll be back with game 3 between Baron Buddies and RAR. Is it going to be a 3-0 or a 2-1? We'll find out at the end of the night. Take care.
I wanted
that we keep on walking all night. Tell me that you're here and feeling down for anything. Ooh, I'm down for anything. Down, 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 if we can keep it. Down, 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 if we can keep it. Down, down, down. Ooh, I'm down for anything. Down, 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 if we can keep it. Down, 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 if we can keep it. Down, down, down. Ooh, I'm down for anything. Yeah, we can make a mess inside this booth. You're taking me to places old and new. Sweetest song than our favorite song. And it feels like every time that it comes on, we just roll on till the day's done and the lights gone. And it won't take long. Even when I'm without you, when I'm without you, babe. Listen up and play along. Yeah. And that's how time flies. Like we are different time. Tell me that you're here and feeling down for anything. Ooh, I'm down for anything. It's fine line that we keep on walking all night. Tell me that you're here and feeling down for anything. Ooh, I'm down for
my life a story. I'm trying to find the glory. Got them all sleeping on me, my haters out here dying, snoring. Why they mad that I'm finally growing? And they see me fighting for it. What they wanna get involved for, I kill them all off until I'm enormous. Cause 9 to 5 is boring. Grinding 5 in the morning. I'd rather make music, get paid for it, die with a fortune. And my ride is foreign. Every whip I drive imported. Anybody know me, they know. For this game, no, I'm dying for it. I'm on now, give me that crown, yeah. Ain't nobody out here really wanting with me. I'm going hard while you falling asleep. I got it all cause I deserve it all, Just being honest, they don't wanna see me honest. I'm taking over this game now and that's a promise. They out of pocket, they don't wanna believe I got it. Give me that crown now cause I'm the king, call me your highness. This life a movie, I'm a motherfucking star like Clooney. From dusk till dawn, I'm a loose sleep. I ain't tryna live broke like you be. I've been coming for the bag, I do me. Will I get paid? Absolutely. Cause you better knew a boss like Takeoff. I ain't left all bad and bougie. Heard them talk, they barely knew me. I ain't let no stranger fool me. When I came in the game, y'all showing that fake love. I ain't look past your jewelry. Now this ride is foreign. Every whip I drive imported. Anybody know me, they know. For this game, no, I'm dying for it. I'm on now. Give me that crown, yeah. Ain't nobody out here really wanting with me. I'm going hard while you falling asleep. I got it all cause I deserve it all, Just being honest, they don't wanna see me honest. I'm taking over this game now and that's a promise. They out of pocket, they don't wanna believe I got it. Give me that crown now cause I'm the king, call me your highness.
Alright, welcome to game 3 between Baron Buddies and Rar, and there's a small correction. Doki is not playing Ivern's jungle. Doki is playing Rel jungle, and it is Ivern support for Jonicus.
I was mildly correct when I said it would be a potential flex pick to the bottom lane. Wait.
Are you seeing this Aesol on your screen? Like, it's not the fact that he's in top lane. That's, like, probably gonna switch back. It's the fact that he has tier no pots against Yone. And I guess, like, Yone's weak early, but I've had too many adventures against Yone as Aesol to ever do that kind of nonsense.
Yep. Gotta definitely, I think you're just aiming to stack it as fast as possible. I think still sitting on, like, 150 gold, 100 gold, actually, so. And gonna stay up there, too. Interesting. So Nox Lucifer is actually gonna stay in the top lane.
I like it more against Cassante.
Yeah.
But it's still kind of greedy. I wonder if they're going to do some kind of weird thing where they switch lanes really quickly and teleport back, and that's why the no pots start for Aesol.
Yeah. That's something we haven't seen since season 5, I'm going to be completely honest with you. We used to do lane swaps between the bot lane and the top lane. It's just an obnoxious tech. You also get an advantage in the range in the matchup with Aesol, so it kind of gives him the free stack on to the Cassante.
Trundle giving up a pretty huge push advantage, although it does get a health advantage for it.
I mean, once he gets his W, I think it is the what's it called? Hold on, as I'm thinking off the top of my head, Frozen Domain. There we go. Once he starts getting that, we'll start trading with this Yone. I do imagine there will be a lot of that going on. Marie Lee Sin down here, farming pretty good. Tickle 2 should take over here in a second to, I was going to say Magic Collapse and Jonica, so they do end up getting that. But we have some trading here on the top side.
Yeah, Trundle gets a really nice trade, but there's a bunch of minions hitting him, and the wind is up. And Yone's actually the first to recall, does not have teleport. I don't know if this recall's finishing. Like, the way's in a horrible spot for this.
No, didn't even have the pillar to stop it. Yep, didn't have the pillar to stop it.
I mean, I never stop it. I'm like, okay, you want to recall with the way frozen like this, no teleport? Yeah, deal. And they're actually swapping lanes. This is quite intense. They could not punish the Aesol with a Cassante, so they recall both their laners, and now Cassante is walking into a horrible lane state. And honestly, Yones is not that much better.
No, both of them will be not terribly behind. They will be behind in tempo, which is what I wanted to say. Is like they will be behind a little bit in the current of the tempo. But this mid lane matchup now, the Cassante and Trundle will be interesting to see. Cannon will be hit. Level 3 will also take over, and now lanes are back to normal. So Trundle will be ahead for a little bit, about 200.
I mean, that's a level
gold.
4 Asol into a level 2 Yone. Or level 3 now, but still. Like, basically a full level ahead.
Yep, and he's even getting a free back. Shouldn't teleport back here. The lane will be against or pushing away from him anyways. So I wouldn't even bother TPing back to lane. Looks like we're actually getting
they're
the
switching
swap
back.
back.
It's the mind games. Oh no. Tempo rolling top and mid lane. Although junglers are finding each other in the top side crab, and only Cassante and Yone are available. So Rel backs off, but actually I think got it. So gets the crab. Oh no, that was just a regular ward. My mistake. And they do give it to Almond. Meanwhile, Magikarp's getting rooted here. There's a lot of trouble. So much poke, as you mentioned earlier. Ease away.
No ignite.
But I don't think that there's an all-in coming anytime soon.
I was kind of hoping there would be. Oh, hold on a second.
Oh, Asol
here.
gets knocked up and doesn't want to go for the stun dive without the mini wave in position. But there might be a dive potential at bot lane. It might not even be a dive. It might just be a plant and a Q from 10 miles away if Magikarp is not careful.
Here we go.
Oh, Doki's here, but there's no follow-up because Nyla is too low. She's kind of pretending like she can come, but really what she's doing is farming the wave. Meanwhile, Marie falls for it and flashes away. I mean, I guess I say falls for it. It's still kind of dangerous, but Vi comes in, gets exhausted and rooted. Now Doki gets the stun ignite, and Almond will be okay because the exhaust from Carrier. Doki over gets the shield, and first blood is just one kill for Mary Leeson. But that was a really good bait to be able to get Doki all the way in, and they pull in a Nyla for it.
Yep. So the kill is crucially going over to the Seraphine, who's going to be the most annoying poke that's going to come over the course of this game.
Yeah.
Now, crucially, Doki having no flash, unfortunately went for the overcommit there onto that play, which forced Magikarp to come back, and unfortunately sacrifice himself and give up first blood over to the Seraphine, which now, Baron Buddies are 1,000 gold.
Do you see this
ahead.
Tear in Sapphire Crystal for Asol? He has 0 AP. I mean, I think maybe some from runes, but it is really all mana, which, you know what, to be fair, he scales off souls anyways, or stars anyways, but still, that is some greed. Meanwhile, Trundle getting a really nice trade onto Yone. Yes, the E damage will be nice, but he has to come back to it. So now Paul is just autoing him, and it'll be a hog attack and a solo kill for Apollo.
Okay. Solo kill over to the Trundle, really good, especially for that split push threat. We do have the Grubbies.
Almond coming in and smiting
just
it.
Walks in and
does
smites
have to
it.
run away. Yeah.
No
and
flash.
barely runs away. Gumi Yusi not noticing that Ivern's here. We'll walk away now. But that's all, or just 2 Crubs, 2 Void Grubs for Rar. But they certainly have a really nice advantage in the top side of the map.
Now I imagine day one, because I haven't watched too much of the Sentinel League, but I imagine there was never mind, because level 6
meanwhile, dive and the
here.
wall over, but Rel's here. Doki plus the Asol ultimate means that you still get the kill on Asol. But Gumi Yusi will fall. It's probably worth it for Cassante. Just really awkward that Doki happened to be in that quadrant. Meanwhile, Magikarp's trying to go in, gets rooted immediately, and the poke going out hurts.
Yeah, Doki being there was kind of unlucky, and Cassante did exactly what they do best. Gumi Yushi getting the kill on there and getting the XP advantage as well, because that kill paid. Hold on a second. Got a lot of poking here in the bot lane. The jungler is here if Doki decides to come in. But anyways, back to that mid lane play, Cassante hitting level 6 and doing exactly what I see that champion do is incredibly annoying. And it's not fun for anybody because you just kind of insta-die, as we just saw. So 1 for 1 in the end of the day for that, due to taking a couple tower shots and Doki being in the right place at the right time. Doki will get the Rift Scuttle. Hold on, Guma is...
This trade is pretty annoying for Gumi. You see, he has a lot of tools, though, so he's not going to go to fatal damage. In fact, trades back pretty well. But I'm more interested in the fact that Asol is coming up here. He does not care about the Yone 1v1, and is in fact roaming, which is not usually what you would want to see Asol do in this matchup, and Yone will get the crash all for Acel just to get a tower crash of his own? Are they switching lanes? It's not entirely
They're
clear.
switching again. That's what they're
But
doing.
Acel gave up a wave, and Trundle gets the benefit of that of like half a wave. But now Yon and Gumayusi are here, but they're not able to get the knockaway, so it's not that scary.
Drake
Wait.
shaded on the other side. Never mind, we're
Noxus
fighting.
for not paying
actually.
attention. It gets ulted. Does not have the W. Or does get the W,
Oh,
but it gets
no.
knocked in. There's no Yon anymore, but it might not matter because Gumayusi certainly does a lot of damage. Kuro coming in
for
with the
this.
Flash Ignite, and there's not really quite the communication between the solo laners there, so they don't get the kill on Nox.
Yeah, you just take the
But,
flash and leave, I would think. I mean, Acel, once he doesn't have the flight, is very vulnerable. You kind of collect your bearings and then go for the dive onto him, I think, after that play, if you just keep the Yon ultimate. And Kasante ult is back up now. If that was up, it would have killed him. On the other side of the map, the Drake was traded, so will be a Chemtech going up the board here in a few moments. And right now, we're just going
it's
to
just
reset.
so interesting because the benefit of this trade has been Trundle. Like, Apollo's done great for himself.
Mhm.
But I feel like Nox is even further behind than he would normally be. He's given up so many waves. I mean, Yon also is behind, so it's kind of hard to tell. I mean, the 1v1s keep on changing. So, like, I feel like Apollo and Guma have done very well for themselves, and Kuro and Nox have done very poorly. So it's one of those weird dynamics where both mid laners are struggling and both top laners are doing well. But now
Well,
the mid laners bot
they're
lead.
fighting.
Apollo finds Guma. Both of these are pretty strong, but Doki's here and Kuro's here.
Good ult.
Doki able to not able to get anything off of it, and now Gumayusi gets an
There's
amazing
Vi.
ult on Doki. No flash, so Rel will be going down here. Apollo not really going to be able to punish Guma because of the tankiness, so he just has to flash out. And the strength points for Baron Besties works out a lot better. Meanwhile, Acel's in trouble to a support here. Exhaust
Oh,
plus
boy.
charm. Yes, you have Acel ultimate. Seraphine doesn't have mana, so he will be able to slither away. But
Indeed,
man, Nox
so-
is just being the punching bag of the opposing team.
Yeah, not enough hard CC to lock him down, which is honestly, you'll take that. You'll no flash still at this point, anyways. Won't be up for another couple of minutes. Never mind, still here.
He's,
Will probably
going to die to a support. This is just
That's
a
not
support
a
killing him.
support.
I mean, fair enough, but it actually doesn't end up that way, anyways. Meanwhile, Almond trying to fight this, but there's a lot of people here for
Let's have
Rar.
to get two at least. Oh my god.
Doki is able to get a
Yono.
lot of CC. Kuro doing some damage, but the exhaust means that he has to get out. And now it's 4v4, but the cooldowns are not there. So Almond goes down, Kuro
Kuro's
goes
dead.
down, and Guma is not going to be strong enough to make this work. Neither is Mary Lee Sin. So that's a triple kill for Apollo, and suddenly
Nice.
all of the shenanigans that have happened in the entire game suddenly make Apollo the benefactor of this game.
4-0 on this Trundle will be a really strong split
Oh,
push
meanwhile,
defense.
knocked in. Jonicus
no.
is just a support.
He's dead.
Yep.
He is dead. So there's that. Gotta say, 4 kills are on this Trundle at this point. Will be an obnoxious split pusher. Now having the 4 Void Grubs as well, getting that little bit of extra tower true damage.
Oh, and Doki gets it. So that means
Okay,
better jungler,
never
I
mind.
guess. Just kidding.
Yeah, definitely. So,
Oh,
never mind,
going
we're
back for the
still
ward
here.
means that Almond's here. Now Gumayusi's here, but Trundle's recalling, and this is your strongest player. So Apollo not being here is big. Doki has to run away with no flash. Is able to W away from the CC.
Wow,
Not
they
that
both got each
CC,
other.
however. And there's still so much CC coming. The ultimate from Vi, the Q from Gumayusi.
We're
Your
TPing
teleport's
for this?
way too late. And now Jonicus is here as a support, and Apollo is the strongest player, so maybe they can get something. Carrier also here. Support's
He's
available.
dead.
Apollo will get a 5th kill. Maybe a 6th because
fighting
Gumayusi
this?
wants to push the issue. Is really low, will go down. And that's a 6th kill for Apollo.
Seraphine was not there, so why we're going for that, I do not know. Nor was Yon, so not really in a prime position to fight that, methinks. I think you just give up those Void Grubs. And there's a lot of damage missing, I noticed, as well. Especially with Trundle having almost his completed Triforce done. Does have the Titanic, or not the Titanic, sorry, the Tiamat for that extra bit of wave clear. Tower plate still falling over. It is a 1.1k gold lead for the side of Rar at this point. This is much better than the first 2 games, at least what we saw. This game, the first
Okay.
game was close and then ended up going in their own
I have some information.
favor. Do tell.
It's a 1.1k gold lead for Rar as a team. but all of that is on Apollo. Apollo has more than a 1.9k gold lead on Gumayusi. So if you take out the top lane, it's actually a slight lead for Baron Besties. Meanwhile, Doki getting teared up and CC.
Oh.
Oh, Nox caught as well. This is going to be able to fly away, but it's really low looking into this dragon fight, which would be the second dragon for Baron Besties. However,
is
Rar is not
risky.
willing to give it up that easily. A lot of CC
Young's-
available.
Young's
Nyla
not
and
here.
Yon are at top side, right? Young's not your strongest player, however, neither is Nyla. Doki trying to
Oh.
engage a little bit, but is used all the CC and has not found anyone. Meanwhile, the charm lands on everybody. Not quite damage coming in yet. And Aesol and Gumayusi are just kind of ignoring it. So the dragon will reset, gets unreset, and they steal
He
it. Oh,
stole
he
it?
gets it! And also gets the ultimate onto Jonicus. Now
yeah,
Doki
they
will
just
fall.
win.
Kura has finally made it here. Gets that kill. Paulo
good
has no
shutdown if
chances.
they
This will
get
be a
it.
huge shutdown. Who will get it? Who will get it?
Seraphine,
It goes
that's
to
good.
Seraphine.
I actually think that Seraphine getting that kill is huge. This will help her finish the Leandries. I was not expecting Almond to just walk in and smite steal that. I'm to be completely honest. I mean, Doki had smite, and I guess
Okay,
he just
but-
ended up using that one.
Best case scenario, Rourke gets that dragon. It's still a disaster. They just lost
Right.
everything.
And the
one
gold lead
dragon does not make
flipped
up for
over
it.
too. Yeah, gold lead does flip over as well.
Oh, meanwhile,
guess he's
Nox is
dead.
gonna die to Gumayusi, and this time there is no Doki to bail him out.
The flash went through also. That's super unlucky. Oh. God, that's super unlucky. I mean, that's Cassante for you. That champion just does things really broke, and I legit cannot stand it. It's just there's too many things. The champion has a Triforce. Other side. He's on his way to finishing the Frozen Fist. Will be just absolutely ridiculous in terms of damage. That's Trundle that finished the Triforce.
Is
that
Almond
was
gonna go for a
earlier.
sneaky steal again? I don't think it's viable, but he is hanging around. Decides against it.
No, I
But
think
look
they
at this
just give it
Aesol.
up.
I mean, you don't expect Aesol to have 6 kills or something ridiculous, but he is not having a good time. And I'm not sure that Rar will be able to buy him enough time because they're down 2 dragons and their entire lead is on a Trundle.
Which is still
I mean,
fine.
not their
just-
entire lead. Their entire
yeah, Trundle should
chances.
just stay in a side lane instead of being here in the mid lane. Should just create pressure in one of the side lanes. At this point, should be able to beat Cassante, I think. If I remember, I'm trying to think off the top of my head in terms of like raw damage right now at the moment. With Trundle having about an item and a half, we'll be doing that. I would assume a Ravenous Hydra next.
Okay, but what about Aesol versus Gumayusi for another time?
I'd
Seems
rather
a
not
little
see that.
scary for Nox.
No, I'd rather not. Well, that champion will definitely win. We got some trading happening in the river. Looks
Oh,
like
but
Ace
Apollo finds
or
Kuro.
Trundle
No
here.
refuge with the E because you have to go back. Doki's here as
2v1.
well just for the assist gold. Yes, they both get ultimated, but
flash.
there's not really any way out. So
Nope,
Apollo will
Kuro
get
go
another kill.
down. Kuro will go down in that instance. Looks like Gumayusi was just tickled a little bit by this Aesol. Does have a little bit of MR. Ooh, that I honestly think if that hits, they're going in. So
Nox is not afraid. Surely they couldn't. Surely Gumayusi wouldn't dive him a third time. Oh, barely dodges that really cute dodge. I don't know if it
Now he's
matters.
here,
So
now
you're
he
just playing with
dies.
fire. Yeah, the breeze does a lot of damage, so they're not quite able to do this without a mini wave. But Nox is definitely. I mean, cool on you to get that dodge off, but relying on that is insane. That's like really absurd behavior. And does he get it this
Uh-oh, there
time?
it
No, he
is.
doesn't. Stunned into a lot of damage. Almond's still here. And I don't think this tower is very defensible. Yep, the flash forward
Oh.
Q misses, but the R cannot miss. So it'll be Aesol ult damage, not able to clean it up. Vi did not commit, but Doki is committing in this 1v1 with a Cassante around the corner. Doki running at him. No flash again because Doki does not take flash. So Gumayusi will just walk out.
Okay. Unfortunately, does not get the kill in that instance. Just not enough damage. That Radave just coming in clutch. That little bit of extra health does, I will arguably say, did save Nox's life. Should reset now and back. Finish the tier, I would believe. Almost. Looks like we're going for... what are we going for next? That's interesting.
Isn't that Leandri? Oh, no, that's way old. Is that Ludens?
Nope, that is also not Luden. So, oh, hold that thought. Doki might be
Doki
dead
caught,
here.
and no flash, no chance. Marie gets it.
Easy breezy. That's all that needs to be said about that one. So, as we're
That is
moving,
looking
Oh, yeah.
like third dragon control. Which again,
Mhm.
you have the ace on your team. You're trying to scale up. It's going to be very hard to scale up if Baron Busties can confirm the soul. Meanwhile,
you can
Locke's
say that
dashing
again.
into a Cassante. Does not have a care in the
Brave.
world.
I'm just gonna say that's brave.
We,
Oh,
Jonicus is fine. Okay.
no, yeah, and Apollo just kind of walks away from that little instance. The soul point.
Oh,
Oh,
stunned.
okay.
And
Relax.
breathe on. And he just sets in the breath. He doesn't care. But he might care later when the stacks come back to bite him. Meanwhile, Apollo is not doing amazing in those trades despite how far ahead he was. And
Oh, this
Doki is
is really
trying to contest
interesting.
this with no vision versus multiple poke champions. Jumps
Oh,
in, no flash
no.
again. Yes, you're on the Zyra, who
Carrier
might
has
fall, but I
flash.
think she gets
Oh,
the
good.
ultimate off. Meanwhile,
Oh,
Seraphine
my
holds pretty
God.
good. Carrier does go down. Almond is exhausted. Mary can't do anything because she's stunned. So Rod will probably get this fight. Aesol might go down now, but he got the ultimate off. And Aguma Yusi is 1v3. Yes, he can probably run away. Might even
I
get
think
one
he
on the
wins
way out.
this.
Cassante is crazy. What is going on my screen?
Never
Is
mind,
actually
Matsuda's
almost able to
shielding.
1v3. Again, baits Almond in. So they will actually instead kill Almond as well.
Too many
because
shields.
Almond
Too many
also
shields.
believed.
Yep,
And that's
too
the
many
third
shields.
dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Or no, that's the first dragon. That is the first dragon for Rar, which is a good sign for letting their Aesol scale up.
Yeah, so that will be a fight that goes in favor. We'll stop the dragon stacking as well, because last time Elmon just walked in and stole it. Once again, fighting without the Yone, which I'm very curious about. If they fight with Yone there, they completely wipe that fight, I 100% believe, because that champion just does too much damage, even with the bow. We went Bork first, so maybe not. I'm usually used to seeing Kraken Slayer first onto Yones. This is very interesting choice. I imagine for the percent health damage, but it's really only gonna be onto the Rel and the Trundle, more or less. But Yo needs to be there for these objective fights. They completely win all of these fights with him there. So fighting without him is not going to be ideal.
Get that nice little poke off at the end there. Get the E bonus damage. Sets up a really nice moment where Apollo can't really commit too much. Although Jonicus is in the area just to support his top laner, / mid laner, / wherever he wants to go laner.
Indeed. Reset will happen for the Yon. Should be working on a second item.
Oh, actually tries to stop the recall. Not quite able to
Yay.
find it.
Noon Quiver.
I don't know.
Okay, that should be Kraken Slayer.
And there's a lot of Baron Buddies members on the top side. So I think they're gonna try to get some vision around the Baron, but not really pressure or anything. I don't
This is
think
a
Baron
dude with a
Besties
jack
is
show. What are you doing? It's a lot
Nox is playing with
Oh,
fire too
no.
many times. Now he's knocked into the opposite side. Yes, he has his W, but he will. Oh, actually, there's a lot of people here. Nox actually
Still
lives.
almost got the kill.
This man is crazy.
Doesn't
But
matter
it does
'cause
mean
Baron
Baron
started.
Besties is pressuring the Baron, as I said earlier. I didn't think it was going to happen, but I guess if you commit that many people bot side for Rar, suddenly you got to worry about the Baron. Yone is tanking a lot, but now Almond's tanking it, so it's probably fine. Dashes in to find Jonicus just to support, ults out, which means that Apollo
He's
gets to
not
come
here.
in
Never mind,
unmatched.
Baron.
Is
Who
going
gets
to
it?
go to Baron Besties. Meanwhile, the fight might go to Rar because everyone is dead for Baron Besties.
Yep, they're pretty much gonna walk. Carrier will get walked down here and
I
just
mean,
kind
it's
of
just-
dying.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they will get the Baron, will lose everybody. It is a 4K gold lead. That is a crucial objective to take off the map. It's just super unlucky. They made the call immediately after Gumayushi had died. Like, all right, let's make the call. Go to Baron right now. It is unfortunate they didn't get the Baron. It was at 900 HP. I do believe Doki smited first, and then Almond did. Oh, hold on. Gumayushi might be caught here.
I mean, it is Cassante, right? Surely he's fine. Although he really wants to fight this, the root means that he will be half health. But it's Cassante. He's not in real danger.
Yeah, I know. Indeed, as we now will be slowing down, I imagine they will spend the gold that they got here. Trendale doing his thing in the top side. They should just once again, keep Trundle in the side wave. It looks like there is no 2-2s anywhere on the map. So at this point, you kind of have to wait for the next objective. Spend your gold, wait for the next objective, kind of just chill and wait. It will be something else. It'll be interesting.
And
I
things
think.
have turned around completely for R. I mean, they've got the late game scaling. Even though Aesol is 0-3, he still will be stacking Stardust. And Yon is still pretty good in the team fight, but everywhere else on the map, I mean, RAR is willing to take the advantages that they have been gifted by Baron Besties. Yes, Baron Besties were able to get their bestie, but it came at the cost of their gold lead and probably another dragon at least.
A minute and a half until then, so they have plenty of time. So I think they'll be okay for sure. Looks like we're actually gonna have
Danica's
a
a
little
little
bit of fighting
caught, but
here.
Apollo really able to engage in the flash in
there's a
from
flank.
Magiclops gets 3 ultimate. Aesol from the flank, by the way. What is going on? Magiclops gets 1, gets 2. Meanwhile, Kuro goes in, but it's too late. Might get 1. Doesn't even with the E damage. Triple
Nice.
kill for the
Should be game.
Magiclops, and Apollo is getting a kill. And I think Roar might just end it.
They
Like, unironically.
don't have a wave actually.
Yeah, but
they
Ivan okay, never mind. No wave means this tower does not take damage.
Yeah.
They're excited. I'm a little excited, but they
There
have
we
to
go.
wait.
Should be the end. All right, so
Um,
this should theoretically be the end of the game. Death timers are,
I mean, death timers are
not
really
long
close.
enough.
Yeah, and you've got to
Yeah,
do have
just take
Seraphine
2.
ult is still up. Seraphine ult's still up. Yeah, they should be able
Just
to
take
just
2
get 2
inhibitors.
nexuses or 2 inhibitors, but I doubt they try to end. Dragon
Nope,
is respawning
I
now,
would
so if
not.
they overstay, this will be 3rd dragon for Baron Besties. So they might press the issue.
Ooh,
Almond wants
getting
to.
getting a little,
Decides against it.
aggressive there.
And knocks
But,
it
yep.
from bot lane.
You're totally right. They should just reset 12 seconds to this Drake. This will be another Drake that will stop them. They will get on back on the map a little slow though, which might
Can
be
I just say
concerning.
again, that was a Aesol flink. He was
Yep.
just breathing on him from behind. Nox is looking like he's playing a different champion, like some kind of backline or front diving assassin. He's playing Aesol. He just looked at Gumiusi in the face and said, "I will breathe on you. I will
Maybe he
dodge
just-
every Q." And it
I
didn't
think
work
they should
sometimes.
just wait for Trundle TP before starting this because they could threaten the base if he just TPs right. or
Almost just trying to
walks
rush
over.
it. Apollo's here, trying to get the fight. Doki's here as well.
Alright,
A lot of
here we go.
CC.
Good
Seraphine
ult.
ult's not going to do much because there's no follow-up. Aesol ult will, however. Yes, Yon gets a lot of damage off, but now he's
Nice.
dead.
Collector.
Aesol breathing on absolutely
That's game.
everybody, and Rar will get everyone. They'll get the dragon, because why not?
There it
They'll
is.
teleport top lane and end the game.
Yep, that'll be the end of the game. This will be a 2-1 that was in favor of Baron Besties, Baron Buddies, BB. They will close out this game and this night, so that
Yeah, it feels
will
good to
be
not
the
be 3-0'd.
series. Yeah,
It would
I
really
do
suck to
say.
get 3-0'd on stream.
Absolutely,
Um,
100%.
But luckily, that didn't happen to anyone tonight.
Yep. All right,
And
cool.
so,
So that was that. RAR playing to their strengths much better. And then Magiclops popping off on the Nyla. Knows how to play the champion very well.
I
And,
mean-
it looked a little doomed for the mid lane for a second after getting soloed by Kasardi
what was going
twice.
on with the solo lanes? Like, they played it to a point where no one knew what was going on. And
Mhm.
I bet the gold graph for the mid laners looked insane because Aesol just went top with no health pots, was fine. And Yon had to make the most tragic recall. And I don't think he ever really recovered. Like, maybe he recovered in terms of gold. Like, he did do stuff in the game, Kuronomi did.
Right.
But man, that mentality of having to recall at level 2 with the wave pushing away from you, I could never.
So the mind games worked. That's all I will say.
Mhm.
The mind games worked with the constant lane swapping and just creating lots of confusion. So that does end up doing some fun wonky nonsense. Now this does mean that BB do still win 2 games. They only dropped to the 1 to RAR. And really, really well played by them. It was a fun game to watch. 9-1 on the Nyla, like I mentioned. 11-1 on the Trundle, which not surprising, especially once that triple kill happened in the river. I was like, yep, this game's done because Trundle has 4 kills and is gonna run it down the map and just take everything, which is pretty much what happened on the top side of the map. So, not terribly too much of a
Also, I'm just gonna say I felt like Nox was playing a bit of a paper tiger in that he played so aggressively unsafe And maybe I'm wrong, and Nox just knows the limits of his champion.
Mhm.
But I'm wondering if he will be able to do that in the future, or if teams will punish the fact that you have a flanking Acel, or an Acel just breathing on the face of a Cassante that already dove him twice.
Yep.
But I mean, hey, it worked. So
So White Lotus did end the week this week at 11-4. Raw are 8-7 after that last win, so they do keep second place for now. There's still one more week of games left. So Baron Besties will be 7-8 as a result tonight. Needlessly, large draws at 4-11. There is still a chance for them to get a higher seeding. They just have to win all of their games next week. From there, I do believe. Let's see. Let me make sure I'm not missing anything in particular. So we have the playoffs right now, but that's this subject to change, mind you. So if things stay as is, White Lotus would end up playing Needley's large rods in the first round, and then Raw would play Baron Besties again. So we pretty much see this exact same matchup. You know, fight our way through it.
I mean, I don't see White Lotus or NLR changing spots, but I could see these two teams also changing spots pretty quickly. However, ironically, that would just change the side selection, right? Not the
Yes.
matchups.
Yeah, I
So
think it would change that.
I think we will see a repeat of this week for playoffs. Next
So,
week,
what?
however, will be deciding side selection, and then maybe it might change something else. But we will have to see at the time and tell you then what exactly the stakes will be. But
So you have to wait
as
a
far as
week.
I
We're
can
not going
tell,
to give away all the fun.
that's true. I'm really excited to see playoffs for this series though, or this league, because I think the teams have been, trying out some interesting things. Some Ivern supports, some Camille supports with Akshan need to carry. And there's some merit to that, especially in a league where you always make playoffs. But I'm curious what their takeaway will be from their experimental picks, and we will probably see
Definitely
that in
will.
playoffs.
Yeah, definitely we'll have to wait and see what happens. But I think that will do it for us as we wait till next week. So thank you to Coachify for sponsoring our stream. You'll be hearing more of the slogan next tomorrow for sure, because we're back for the next league, as those games will be pretty popping as well. But until then, see you guys later. Take care of each other. Have a good Tuesday. I thought it was Wednesday earlier, but it's not. But take care.
Yeah, thank you for joining us.